Stuttering John Melendez roundtable discussion.
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all to PDP, Point DabblePoint, a roundtable discussion not only of John these days, but of various characters and players in the Dabbleverse. Joining me today, an all-star cast, and more coming in. First of all, you know her, you love her, Ava Riza, ladies and gentlemen, in the building. Hi, Ava. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? I'm a little disappointed in the John news, but
well, we'll get into all that. Don't say I told you so. But also another fan favorite. We love her. She is Lucy Tightbox. Once over Kaylee on X. Follow her Patreon. Lucy, great to see you.
It's great seeing you. Happy Memorial Day. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, happy Memorial Day, everybody. Antonio said it best. Please remember the meaning of the day. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you to everybody, past, present, who's served in any way, shape, or form. We appreciate it. Now it is time for us to serve by running towards the danger of the Dabbleverse. And we have to start at the big news, again. John laying out the rake himself, announcing on Twitter, May 26th, this is it. It's happening. People were debating, is it going to be him doxing Cardiff on the 26th? Is it going to be him filing or serving us with some lawsuit on the 26th? And the 26th is here, and John is not. No John, nothing.
Yep. Got fucked over again.
Yeah, I told you there was going to be a big... I think it comes down to two things. Here's my two theories. Number one, he wanted to raise awareness for Memorial Day. So he did this whole May 26th. Number two, it falls under this umbrella of what would scare John. So these veil threats and a date would scare John. It would ruin his whole weekend. It would ruin his whole week, So I think it's one of those two things. What are your thoughts?
I think your second theory is definitely an interesting one. That is exactly the type of thing that scares the shit out of him, and therefore he assumes that it scares the shit out of everybody. But I think that anybody who is in the Dabbleverse other than him was just kind of like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens. Not, oh my God, I'm never going to sleep again.
Yeah, it really didn't. I mean, I always feel like, Vince is pulling the puppet strings these days with John. So I feel like he's hyping him up, saying, they're going to do shows about it every week, build it every day, build it up all week long, leading into it. They're going to dedicate their whole... And nobody said a fucking word about it. Everybody was just like, all right. Everybody's tired of it. Like, it's played out. You can't keep threatening and then showing up when people aren't home. People stop believing your threats.
So I do have another theory in addition to your two very reasonable theories. I think that you brought up that Vince is absolutely pulling some strings here in the background. And I think that Vince really likes to watch everything unfold. So I had a theory. I had a theory that if there was going to be a lawsuit and TSN was going to get served and WATP was going to get served, I had a theory that Vince was going to try to convince John to do that while a bunch of the WATP people were all in Vegas at Hackamania 2. That was my theory. I thought he was going to organize. I was completely convinced. I was compulsively checking the court systems. I thought for sure Vince wanted to watch us all get served, and so he had convinced John to do it. When the announcement came out and John said, oh, May 26th, my next thought was, Vince is trolling John, and Vince told him, go to the court and file the lawsuit on May 26th, which of course is a holiday and all of the courts are closed. So I'm imagining Vince being like, we can't e-file this court case. You got to go into the courthouse. And then Vince just sitting back and laughing when John's like, the doors are locked. What do I do now? Like,
right.
I think it's even worse than that. I think that that's what was supposed to happen, but he didn't realize that boat rentals on like Memorial Day are more expensive. So come today, he actually didn't have enough money to go into the courthouse and serve the papers and file them.
Oh, interesting. And also maybe this is, John tried to fuck with Vince's livelihood, right? His job, his main source of income, because we know it ain't YouTube. So is this like Vince going, okay, I'm going to fuck with your money till you have none left?
Yeah.
That's
That's entirely possible. Vince is such a puppet master, and again, he likes to watch. He wants to see it all go down. He's going to do whatever he has to do to convince John to do dumb stuff.
I have to confess that I was one of the people that thought he would come through, because I thought at this point he would learn not to give you all that buzz of this being a thing. And in turn, he gave you all that buzz, and there's this hype and everything in his world.
But he can't win either way. Let's say we were served yesterday or today or tomorrow. What is this case? What does he think is going to happen here?
I want it so bad. I want to read those papers. I want to get served as Kaylee, aka Lucy Tightbox. I want it so bad. It's going to be very interesting to read whatever Vince's theory is.
Yeah, and also there's this whole thing of Vince can't represent him because of their issues in the past. Yeah. Plus, Vince helped me out back in the day with some stuff, so he's represented me back in the day.
I don't know that at this point it would fall into the conflict of interest category. As long as you're not currently retaining him, he probably could represent John. And again, I think it's going to be very similar to his lawsuit against John. I don't think that he's doing it to have a successful lawsuit. I think he's doing it to look at the papers exist in court.
Right. Gotcha.
What about the Cardiff component?
That.
Do you think that he just doesn't have the pictures? Or
my theory is that was the only reason Vegas Beer Can Jerry was at Hackamania, was to get Cardiff's identity for John. He obviously got something because John right away starts blabbing about it. But at the end of the day, I don't know if it was people reaching back out to John and saying, okay, dude, if you do this, all bets are off, which I think is funny because it seems like all bets have been off for quite some time. That's a two-way street. But, yeah, supposedly he knows for a fact Cardiff's identity. And I've always said this. If he knew, he'd blab it on Twitter. He wouldn't even do a show about it.
He wouldn't be able to hold that in. As soon as he found it out, he would say it.
Right.
He would not be able to hold. There is no way that he can keep a secret like that. He does not have the capability to keep his mouth shut because he's an idiot.
No.
Hey, and it's not even about the secret. It's about the victory. He doesn't have any victories in any of this. So anything, no matter how small it is equal to him running around with his arms up, celebrating.
No spin for this one.
No, there's nothing he could say. What's he going to say? I never said I was going to come back to 26. That's exactly what you said. You said you had a new show. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have another guest popping in. You know him, you love him. TV and WATP's Adam Bush checking in.
Thank you for that lovely intro.
You're
I'd
very
originally
welcome.
passed, but then I saw who your guests were, and I said, I got to get in here.
Yeah.
Gotta get in
It's
here
ladies'
right now.
night, baby. Come on.
Good to see everybody. What'd I miss?
We were just kind of going over the big nothing burger today from one John Melendez. He called his shot. He was either gonna dox Cardiff or those are the two theories, or file some sort of lawsuit against WATP and TSN and hopefully Miss Tightbox. But so far nothing has happened.
I mean, the day ain't over yet.
It's true.
The courts are closed. He literally can't do anything. Nothing can happen today.
Wait for it, Lucy. Wait for it. They open tomorrow. Don't worry.
Listen, I can't wait. I'm very excited if that's what it is. It's so stupid.
He'll probably just call in the MLC or something.
Well,
yeah, something.
Yeah.
The laziest way. He'll appear in a
for like $200.
Yeah.
Speaking of stupid, he was on a little while ago and in huge demand, ladies and gentlemen, Cardiff Electric. Huh?
I thought you said 4 East.
I did say 4 East.
Did I come back?
Sure, no problem.
A true success.
You gotta love them. You gotta love them. So yeah, we were talking about the potential of this lawsuit. We were talking about the no doxing of Cardiff, and really, somebody sent me a DM. They asked him, "Are you doing a show today?" And he just wrote back, "No."
Oh,
so why make that? Why call your shot if you're not going to do anything? And one of my theories was it falls under that umbrella of this would scare John, so John's going to try it out on other people.
yeah. I mean, he always has.
Right.
This is his move.
I just thought of one more theory, which is that he forgot that today is the 26th.
That could be it too.
Today?
That is today, retarded. Yes.
Oh.
There's something up with your sound. Is your sound all right? Much better. Much better.
It sounds like he always does.
Yeah. Thank you to the 700 plus in here. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. Thanks for joining us. Get yourself a membership, tier 1 or tier 2, or turn on accept gifted memberships. So if people are generous and in a gifting mood, you may get a free membership. Why not? Icy Uno with a $4.99 super sticker. Thank you, Icy Uno. Two Short Long Dogs gifting a membership. Thank you.
Ka-chung! Ka-chung!
Seth Martin gifting 5. Seth the genius, we call him around these parts. Thank you, Seth. Hamhead gifting 5. Appreciate that, Hamhead. Drunk Engineer, hello, lovely ladies, and also the beautiful Lucy.
Thank you. Hello.
Thank you. Hello.
Karl is in federal prison because of the lawsuit. Yeah, Karl, not worried. Going on trips over here.
Yeah, not worried, but clearly hiding.
Clearly, in plain sight.
It is a criminal lawsuit.
It reminds me, John promoting a new gig today on his Twitter that is private, that nobody can see, mind you. Do you have that tweet? Because this is a big gig. You waited for it. Here it is. I'm coming back to Long Island for Eternal Con. Eternal Con. It's a convention of people who won't move out of their parents' house. Mm-hmm. Eternal Con. Yeah, listen, it's all sports that, like, is that the wait for it for May 26th? Was that it?
Maybe it's just like his only win possible. It's like, hey, here's something. I did something on the 26th, like.
So put out these big, long statements about how this Cardiff ruined your life and how you're going to ruin his, and then go, gotcha, I was promoting a signing that I'm doing.
It's viral marketing.
I never looked at it that way. It's a good point.
I feel like almost all of us here on this screen have had John make videos directed to us repeatedly, warning us specifically about the horror and the terror and the justice, that is about to rain down on all of us. And it is always a weird feeling when it's your name and he's looking right at you, and nothing has ever come of any of it to anyone ever.
Yeah, that is a great point.
Adam, I'm so jealous of that. He still won't acknowledge my existence. The one time that he sort of thought that he knew who I was, he conflated me and mint salad. I just want him to hate me as much as he hates all of you.
He also
hard.
He hasn't made a video about me yet either, so I was worried if he was ever going to address me, because I was on that last show, but he might handle me like he handles Typebox.
Yeah.
Well,
ignore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw this, Adam, but John had some choice words for you. Oh, baby John.
Been very successful as an actor, sold a movie. Adam Bush never did.
We don't need that. We're good. Okay, we're good. We don't need that. Maybe on another network. But the point is, I think he hates women a lot more.
Yeah.
So you're lucky that way. Like, he hates you in a way that's actually blinding and he doesn't know what to do with. So it's best to not acknowledge you because it does hurt you so bad.
I think blinding is the key term there. I think he gets literal facial blindness when it comes to women. Like, we're all the same woman in one sense. So he's like, okay, that one's scary, so that one's also scary. So, like, that, and he can't do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Or
a
maybe he
weird
just wants
power
to
move.
bang you.
Yeah, let's hope it's not that.
He-
Good God. I just had to
he
go
has-
through that whole thing of emotions in my head. No.
He has pussy palsy.
Yes.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, I have it too.
Not only your client, but you're the president. The day isn't over. Why so sure? I mean, I think we all know John pretty well at this point. You know, I think if he had a lawsuit or Cardiff's identity, it wouldn't even make it to YouTube. It would be all over Twitter. And also factor in his job now is to stay away from this. And all his bills get taken care of. So can he fuck this job up as well, like others?
Yes.
Thank you. He ain't
It's
that
also
retarded.
it's also currently 4:21 p.m. on the East Coast, which means that he's drunk in a bar somewhere. So
Right.
I am very sure that the day is over for him.
I mean,
It's
what
interesting.
better?
What happens with John, and I think this might be a metaphor for his life and his regular days, is he gets up with, today's the day I exact this huge revenge on all of my enemies, and they will bow before me and cry. And then by the time the day's over, he'll go, well, if I pop on now, at least I can say they were wrong about me not popping on today. And he'll be drunk enough that will be victory enough to get him to sleep that night. Like, I showed them wrong. They're all losers. I did come on. They said I wouldn't, and you were wrong again. Good night.
It's so true. And anyone he comes in contact with that day, it's the rehearsal run. You know, it's he'll run the script by him for later that night when he's sauced up and really ready to go. Happy Memorial Day. Hey, Shushu, I never said this, but hello, Ava, and hello, Miss
Hi, Woody.
Lucy.
Hi,
Hi, Woody. I love some. Once again, Stuttering John is 5 years old. If he thought he knew Cardiff's name, he would release it immediately. He has no impulse control. Correct.
Absolutely. Completely agreed.
Imagine Adam Bush as the testosterone injection on your show.
Right shit show? Let me tell you.
I love when Ava is part of the mix. Has STDJ addressed the fact that she went over to the dark side and was welcomed with open arms and gets airtime, all thanks to him?
He has not publicly. He emailed me, but then the second I went on Shuli's show, he emailed me after seeing a super chat, and then when I went on Shuli's show, that's when he just dropped off, and then he never.
What did he say to you in this when he emailed you about the super chat?
I could pull it up in a second if you want. He was really obsessed with the picture. So somebody left a note on his door or something.
Oh, the Chad note that Chad left or something?
Yeah. So he was really just doing that in the emails.
So he's kind of like, how could you super chat them when they're responsible for this?
Exactly,
lumping
exactly.
us in with, well, yeah. That's
It was a flurry of like 1 or 2 sentence emails along those lines.
Adam, I don't know if you heard this, but someone reached out to me after that guy was on WATP who told the story about John ditching his date. And somebody reached out to me and said that they had a similar experience with John over 25 years ago, a couple's double date. And John had left the table for a little bit, and one of the people in the other couple went to go look for him. And they said he was on the payphone begging whoever it was to come get him. And then was caught, so he returns to the table and is sitting there reluctantly the rest of the time until his ride arrives, and he bails on everybody and ditched everybody.
What's a payphone?
So that was 25 years ago, still doing the same bit.
I think he's certainly capable of it.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it certainly would
absolutely.
explain why he doesn't have a lot of friends.
But
I
even
just-
that,
You know,
Go
the
ahead.
guy was like, I was blind drunk, but here are all these details. And I don't know if you actually listened to it, and not that it's an interrogation. He told his half of the story, and then the second half of the story was Karl going, "Did this happen?" And he went, "Yes." Like, Wendy,
Right.
did this happen? Yes.
Yeah, I
and
don't
then
like
where
that
did John?
guy.
He was gone. Oh, so he just left? Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
and then he held
that's-
to it, you know?
That's Wendy's bit.
Good ear.
If you're a part of this world, you have an obligation to risk getting arrested and get that picture if you're in the goddamn bar with him. And so if you don't have that, like, I have no time for you.
Yeah, I believe he saw him there. I believe he saw him on a date. I don't know if,
But you
everything
can't-
after he saw him,
Well-
and remember they bumped into each other. It was that movie moment. Their shoulders hit, and then one turned and the other turned, and then he said that conversation, and the girlfriend was there, but she was also not there because she was sitting at the table, but they were also walking by the bar. You don't remember that
And
specifically?
then when he said, he had a whole conversation with her about John, but then never said anything about what she had said about John.
That part too, yeah. So he was like hanging out with her. I don't know.
Even though he was on a date with, remember, a perfect 10, because
Yeah.
he knows how to get it, and they spent over $1,000 on steak.
Sounds
He needs
good
to
to me.
interrogate him again aggressively.
Been gone a little while. BR Longhorn, good to see you, pal. So catch me up. My life is getting back to normal. Glad to see it's the same old John. Yeah, whether he's here or not, it is the same old John. You haven't missed much, BR. Welcome back. Luigi Greenberg, thank you again, Shuli, for a great appearance this morning. Kaylee is also part of Skeptical Robot family that just leaves you, Ava. Hugs and kisses. Yeah,
I mean, that
I
hurt
had
a little bit, Luigi. I saw your show this morning with the best acting in that short. It was a great episode, and I did feel that, intentionally being left out of that.
Wow. Personal. Shots
Need to
fired.
check that out,
words.
yeah.
Fighting words.
Luigi, thanks for having me on anytime, pal. Love the show. It's a great show. Go check out Luigi Greenberg, Skeptical Robot, on Luigi's channel. Go support them. They're doing a really fun show. Reminds me of the time that idiot got tricked into being served by the server yelling, "I got your beer out front." Well, it's the perfect Trojan horse, beer. How you not going to get him with that?
That's how we're all going to get served too. Duh.
Drunk engineer, the funny thing is that John actually could file a bar complaint against VTM for giving him intentionally bad legal advice, but he's too egotistical to admit his legal strategy has been stupid.
I don't even think that it's just that he's too egotistical. I think that he's too stupid to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that is absolutely 100% correct. I also think that the courts have a perfectly reasonable reason at this point to consider disbarring Vince. I think that he is intentionally clogging up the courts with lawsuits, and I think that that's very dumb.
Which bar?
Baba's Auto Detail, thank you for gifting
Please.
5 memberships.
Please get me his father's mom.
Thank you. Stuttering John not coming back is a punch to the hoot sack.
Do you miss him?
No. I love doing other shit. I love doing these other shows, the trainables and the raids, and I love it.
Knock, knock.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Cardiff.
It's retarded.
No, it's
Knock,
fucking
knock.
Cardiff. I'm waiting to see the difference. Go ahead.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I don't know.
What were
This
you
is like
saying,
a-
Way
man?
he gets to do your show, but also be like, "See, I didn't really do his show."
Right.
He
Well,
gets
like-
this
you don't want
angle.
to. You don't want to upset the puppet.
spoil
You don't
it.
want to. You don't want to upset the
He
Rocco.
can take the bread, but he can be like, "See, guys, I didn't really try. I just gave my plug and held my mouth open and breathed over everybody."
I'll take it.
Toxic.
I know you will. That's the part.
Sitting in LAX waiting for my flight. Perfect show time while I wait. Shalom, putos. He is Mexican Jew. Thank you. Hi, is Ava mad at Adam for pumping off too much with him in mind? I'm being DM'd by Mike Morse saying that the Porto John is saying it's factual. I'm scared. Okay.
There was a lot there, mostly true, but it was a lot.
I'll go with Adam on that.
Bakuki Joe, PWO. I told my wife that SJ is going to dox Cardiff. She said Wasn't that the nice guy we met outside the hotel at DabbleCon 2? Also, Eternal Con is trash. Well, who else is at Eternal Con? We should get the guest list for that, Andy, if you can.
Okay, should I just ask real quick, what's the bad thing? I mean, nothing. What will happen if Cardiff Electric is doxxed? If we see what his face looks like, what happens next? Like, what reign of terror comes down upon?
You're asking from John's side of things?
Yeah,
like his
at this point now.
I'll tell you exactly. I'll tell you exactly what it is. So if they know his name, then they can move on to his family. Not people that are not Cardiff. That's why he wants his information. Not for Cardiff. For Cardiff's family.
Mm-hmm. And then what happens? Then he starts attacking, and everybody gets behind him and is like, "Yeah, let's go after the Potatoes family." That sounds like a bit.
I think his goal is that if he does that, Cardiff will run away from the internet.
Threaten him with that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Sounds like
Fully Cardiff were here to comment, but anyway.
I know.
Can't let him win, Adam. Can't let him win.
Dave Taft, Hackamania 3 starring WATV promo code BEARS. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm here for Adams Bush. Who isn't? Who the fuck isn't? Oh, I guess Lucy isn't. Retardif, genius. OJ and El Horrible will never know. Wink, wink. Ava rules, Morse rules. Boom! Thank you, Shroom Diff, for the 18 months. Shoo, Lovely Lucy, and the twins all on at the same time. Is it my birthday? When it comes to that SJ in the restaurant story, much like the X-Files, I want to believe, but no.
Well, I mean, I told Dalton, I told him from experience, and I think anyone that's met him has. Like, he's larger than life. It is very satisfying, and it is what you expect. Like, there's no other guy that you're secretly going to find out about. There's a real boring, sober, like, just give me what I want version of him. But he's bumbling and moist and just loud and making the wrong decision 24 hours a day. So the one interaction I had with him was an over-the-top comic. Like, he put us in the wrong room. Gary yelled at him. They yelled in front of us. We got moved 2 times, all because John didn't understand that the room he told the horns to warm up in was connected to the studio where they were recording. So, yeah, it sounds like something I would make up if I needed a John story at the last minute, but it's true. And the people I've spoken to that have interactions with him, it really is true. So there's degrees, I believe. You know, I just think it's best for all of us to just leave it with the truth and let us all decide what we think of it, as opposed to giving it a button or a punchline that we're making up that the audience wants.
That's very good.
Lucy, you ready to get back in? I don't know.
I sure am.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Did we?
I'm okay.
Not you, you idiot. Left out. I asked Adam to come on months ago. He never responded. Adam has an open invitation if he's interested, but not Cardiff. That's why I like that guy.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, then I'm in. Okay.
I'm not even retarded enough to do that show.
Hey, Lucy, Chris Baines or Corpse Grinder?
Barnes.
Probably
Barnes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adam and Ava on screen. Frog deserves a VFX Emmy. Can Retardif say this phrase?
No.
Not a team player. Too many Jews.
No, I
here.
just can't.
Thank you. Big fan, Adam. Loved you on Roseanne and The Big Bang Theory.
Thank you.
There you go. Ben S. Retardif is worth it just to hear Ava's laugh.
Thank you.
Everybody loves Ava's laugh. This is like a bad joke. A Jew, a ginger, trans, potato, and gay walk into a bar. The bartender says, "Get out. I kid. Fire Mike Morse." Patty's not.
I actually don't know which one of those I am.
I don't get it either.
Well, listen.
Ginger.
I guess, like we said, the day's not over yet. Maybe something will happen on John's end. Maybe the pressure of everybody saying, "I thought you were supposed to do something," will push him to doing something. There also is a question of, is his monetization still active on his YouTube channel? there's a chance with the watch hours that he could be starting from square one. He has nothing new he puts out. He takes all his videos down and puts them behind the wall. So, like, there's a chance.
I love that.
Maybe there was something he was going to do the 26th and saw that he's not monetized anymore and now is not doing it.
You know, I had a conversation with Clay Dabbler, and we always have really nice chats. He's a really cool guy. He's always really honest and straight with me. And I said, hey, this was very recently. It's been a while. Maybe you want to pop on DabblePoint, give us some John's perspective, let us ask you some questions. And he said this, and he meant this, like, deeply. And it had, like, the fervor of a zealot who knows that Jesus is coming back, not tomorrow, but now. Yeah. And he was like, no, I can't. John hates you. And he's coming back. Like, this is happening. Like, I ran in to Santa's workshop and told everyone to stop. Christmas is canceled. And they looked at me like, no, you don't even know. I mean, he meant it. I said, that's cool, man. I really hope I get to see you two back together again, because I do.
We have cordial conversations in DMs, myself and Clay. I've promoted his stuff. He's thanked me. He's selling the Clay figures, which is great. I think that's a fucking great thing for him to do. He's really talented at it.
Very talented.
And I've told him multiple times, just come on. We're not going to bust your balls. We're not going to force you to say, come on and defend this guy. We want one guy to come on here and go, no. I think you guys are wrong, and here's why. Let's have a discussion about it. Nobody's going to scream at you, bully you, none of it. And like a kid waiting for his dad to pick him up for the fishing trip that's never going to happen, he goes, I'm going to wait. I'm just going to wait for him to come back.
But isn't that kid?
I love that, though.
Yeah.
I love that.
Isn't that kid breaking the rules by, like, commenting on your shows and watching your shows? Like, isn't that a betrayal to John?
I mean, look, depending on the day and how the wind's blowing, anything's a fucking betrayal to John, you know? And that's my whole point in being a friend to John, is you have to, it's a minefield. You don't know what you're going to do one day. And then you got this fucking psycho who has your information now, who's pissed at you because you broke some rule that you didn't know existed.
Yeah, Clay's branched out enough. A lot of them, they know, as long as John's not here, they can appear in a chat room. They can, talk to some people. They'll never say anything bad publicly about John, ever, no matter what.
Amazing.
And that was my whole...
that breaks our heart is that we know they're good people, and I think there are good people that are friends with John. Being a friend of John's does not make you a bad person. But what breaks our hearts is that we have to see this good person then get berated and emasculated and humiliated by this monster on live stream because they don't have enough respect for themselves or boundaries. And that's really hard and entertaining to watch.
I'm just happy and grateful that you introduced the image of John as Santa Claus into my imagination.
And Cardiff is one of the helpers with the hat on going, ask him about the DUI.
What? No, we're good. Retardiff is way smarter than Mike. That is true.
Oh, I love Mike.
My lost interest. Love this guy.
I don't know.
Lucy, too much clothing. Do it for John.
Listen, he doesn't even care.
He doesn't. Diablo Sandwich. It's after 4 p.m. on Memorial Day. John is far too drunk to accomplish anything else remotely productive today.
Lucy's pumping that angle, and I think she's right to just keep reminding us that he's stupid, and I would add lazy, and he might have just not woken up in time to do whatever.
I don't believe that a lawsuit is coming since we didn't all get served at Hackamania. Like, I really strongly believe Vince likes to watch, and so Vince would have wanted all of us to get served when he could have watched all of us getting served. So we have Boston coming up. Perhaps he's going to try to serve all of us when WATP is in Boston on June 21st. I didn't order anything. That's a possibility. I think he wants to watch it.
For sure. He's a creepy guy like that. He's into that shit. Does Retardiff like a senior staff like Jordan?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
I don't know. I thought it was was that your writer checking in?
Does he have a writer, or is this just him doing this?
Who? Retardive?
Yeah.
This is all natural. This is all.
No, I have a team.
He has a team. Well, listen, John can only give us so much these days, you know. But there are other players in this Dabbleverse. We have Kevin Brennan. We have Opie. We have some Steel Toe. Which would you guys like to start with? Because I'm not an avid viewer of either of these three. So whatever you guys think is the hot ticket these days. I know there's a lot of stuff that's been going on with Melton, This Little Piggy last Friday. They had Nick Ricade on. They had Keanu on. There was a big, huge fight, big blow up, and a lot of fallout since then. Keanu's been on 17 times. You know, there's a lot going on. Opie, I haven't heard much about. He's been kind of quiet. And then Steel Toe on vacation, I believe.
I want to do Opie or Kevin Brennan, if that's all right.
All right, let's start
First.
with Opster.
If that's okay with you guys.
Oh, I have an Opie video. You want to see it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here.
Where it takes me. We're doing our Eddie Vedder impression here at live.
It's
And Get Thoughts. Welcome, bitches.
Well, actually, ladies and gentlemen, it's not Get Parts. It's called Get Parts.
It's Get Pots on the Upper West Side and also on
45th Street, but that's called beer culture.
Yeah, 45th between 8th and 9th. This 9th. This is my friend Matt. That's Littlefoot. And we are obsessed with the Toadies right now.
Oh, man.
The Toadies!
What a fucking day. What a show. Man, we caught a good ep over here. The
reminiscing the Toadies.
What are the Toadies?
The Do You Wanna Die? That band from the 90s.
Oh, I thought he was saying the Tonys.
Oh my god! Now that,
What
now
is this guy talking about? Pearl Jam and a broad. What is?
the Toadies would be awesome. But Toadies, man, wow.
Business. Do you want to die?
So clearly, there's no customers in this place, right? It can't be with this. You can't be the owner of this place and allow this to happen.
What's the setup? Do you think I'm sorry if we already discussed this, but do you think he's getting paid by them to promote their venue? I mean, because he's so obnoxious that I would feel like he would drive out customers.
That's a great question. I don't know much about Opie and his situation. Adam, do you think he's getting any money from this?
I love this game and this question. I love telling exactly what kind of deal the establishment has with the production based on how much promotion they get on the date on the reality show.
Absolutely.
You know, when the couple goes on the date, sometimes they're like Domenico's. And it, like even shows you some of the staff, and then they walk in, and other times they're just in a like nondescript table, and all the waiters' faces are blocked out. You know, they wouldn't pay. The other people, they would pay. These people are just letting him, out of loyalty, use the front room that's blocked off to do his thing. It's friendship. He's not paying anything. He's not getting paid anything. And this will not go on forever.
Well, he's like an exhibit, like a zoo exhibit, and then they're like the two lab coats that are ready to like bothers the customers too much.
He's like the white tigers at Mandalay Bay that they used to just roam around. You go, all right, let's go look at the tigers.
And New York and LA are full of, you know, creatures like this. There's a guy who's been playing guitar backwards on roller skates in Venice Beach. We all have heard of him. He opens movies. More people go to Venice Beach to see him.
Well, he sounds talented. He seems like he has talent.
And he's professionally homeless. That's the bit, is that he's homeless. He lives on Venice Beach, and he rides on his roller skates and plays guitar. More people go to see him than go to Get Parts to see Opie. I've been thinking about trying to do that. And I'm like, no one would stop me. He's just there. No one is in there. No one cares.
I want to go play there.
We should get that roller skating guy to promote TSN. That wouldn't hurt.
Opie's spiritually homeless.
What were you saying, Lucy?
Oh, I was just saying I don't want to go to Gebhardt's. That's like one of those things that, like, of all of the things that I could potentially do with my life, that just sounds like a really, I am sure, Adam, I think you could do a great job of having a great time of that, and it would be very interesting. I would literally have no interest in talking with Opie for any reason whatsoever.
I want to watch and observe first, but
His entire world. This is the life of King Joffrey, as far as we know. This is as isolated and as rich and spoiled. Like, everyone he comes in contact with, even the strangers in Harlem, have to be nice to him as a rule of society. Like, he has no idea what other people's opinions are and thoughts are. He only knows how to block people on his stream when someone gives him a feeling he doesn't want. And this is busking. I'm sorry, dude. This is the same thing. You're saying we're live at a bar. The radio shows do this, all week to promote, come down to 97.1. We're here at Gephardt's. Come join in the fun. I'd like to see him explain to his audience, to the people that run Gephardt's, why me showing up wanting to talk to him because I saw it on TikTok is not what he's looking for, and how having a conversation with me is not why he's doing this, and why, as he tries to block me in real life, in real time. That's the experience
Adam,
I want.
That is the distinction, and you said it perfectly. He can block you on the internet. He literally cannot block you if you walk up to him. Mm-hmm. Or, I mean, he could try, but
I want to see him try.
He would run away. Right?
All right, you're right. Okay, I want to see you go to Gephardt's. I don't want to go.
That would be great.
Well, I'm just not going to go cheese.
Right.
And let him walk away.
What happened to Opie's new podcast deal? He had a podcast deal?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like Tim Sabian?
I think something like that. It's not a big deal. It's a small deal, but I don't want to talk about it, but it is happening, and it's not giving him more of an audience, and it's not changing things. It's just moving his show from one platform to another. That's all he tells us.
I'm not changing things. I see 2 microphones already. Things are changing, my friend. Things are changing.
We have to examine the duct tape on the camera in order to know how much things have changed.
Do you think that it's really pissing him off how Ant is kind of being given the keys to fucking, this entire radio station? It's not even about extending his show an hour. He's filling in for Bill O'Reilly all week. He's filling in for Sid Rosenberg in the morning. Like, they're letting him do it all over there. Do you think that's got to bug the fuck out of Opie?
I think he's still probably hanging on to, well, he's just filling in. He has a Sunday show. He hasn't let himself accept if Anthony's growing in that.
Denial.
So he hasn't gotten there yet, I don't think.
He hasn't processed the collapse of his own radio show.
Yeah.
He hasn't. He hasn't really. He still thinks he's Opie.
Yeah, that's a better way to say that.
He couldn't do a guest spot on an MSNBC political show. Like, he couldn't be a guest. And Ant is hosting his own political show based on his perspective. Opie has no perspective.
And not only that, but they're saying, here's a show that's got its own audience that this person built themselves. We're comfortable with you steering this ship for a week. That's a big fucking ask, and that shows a ton of trust and belief in his talent, his ability. Like, say what you will, but his talent is his leverage right now. The more he can do that they ask of him, the better it is for the long run for him.
How do we get Greg Hughes and Art Garfunkel together? Because they live on the same part of town, in the same place. They live a similar life, except, Art has a talent. He can sing soprano, even still. Like, he's got a voice. But I want to see them commiserate. I want to see them interview each other and talk about the things that only they know about, having their partner distance themselves from them so far.
You want to put asses in seats in Gephardt's? Get fucking Garfunkel's ass in there. Opie and Garfunkel.
I think that's too unrealistic, but maybe the Toadies would be interested.
They're available.
There's nothing better than hearing your wife, who doesn't even remotely care for music in general, and your daughter, who's 3, screaming, "Do you want to die?" in the car. Do you want to die?
Along with the toadies, it's a special feeling.
Behind the boathouse, I'll show you my dark secrets. Ba-da. Oh, God, the toadies.
Very good.
I go way back with the toadies. The Opie and Anthony show at WAF, the only station that really rocks up there in Boston.
So they say.
Just
Oh, go ahead. You go.
Just let him do it. Let him announce the radio. Just let him stop talking and call the letters. It's all he wants to do. And he got
so
stuck in this
sad.
world where he's got to be funny and smart, and he just needs to. All he wants to do is call songs and say, "Welcome in the morning. Grab your coffee. Here's some call letters. See you in a few."
It's one thing. It's one thing when you're at a car dealership and you're doing the radio voice. You go, "Come on down, come see us down here. We're here at the Blood Drive, everybody." That's one thing. When you're at a bar on YouTube and you're like, "Hey, we're just hanging out here in Gebhardt's, everybody," you know,
It's like Rain Man. It's not, And there's Radio Man. Radio Man in New York. Like
sure.
people go to see him. They know where to find him. No one wants to see Opie.
I'm surprised that he's not making fake call letters for Gebhardt's, like G's, whatever. Like that's what a thing that I would expect him to do.
He's considered it.
Yeah.
Cock.
Well, we could go back to Eddie Vedder.
Got him. Let's go. But at least, and there are a lot of folks who don't like the fact that Eddie speaks his mind at shows. A lot of people say, "Yeah, shut up and say we're here to watch."
Well, listen,
he's been doing that for.
but he's got that part of it.
I love that guy's chiming in. No mic, nothing. It's just grab it. You can have it sale over there. Who knows what's going on?
Well, the other guy's at least trying to bring in like a topic or something other than just barking and screaming.
Well, I'm curious to see Opie's take on
I
Eddie
am
Vedder, Springsteen. They're in the news
Yes.
for politicizing them. Their concerts. So let's
I
hear
can't
it.
wait. I can't wait.
I don't think that Mr. Toadies guy, what's his name?
I don't know.
Middle name Danger.
I honestly don't know the name. I go way back with the toadies. I know they used to have
That's not a good place to be in your career.
a chubby
Vaden Danger Todd Smith or something like that.
the one album that was a huge hit for the Toadies. At that time, they had a chubby chick on guitar. That's all I remember. That's all I remember about the
He's been
Toadies.
replaced.
But the Eddie Vedder, the Eddie Vedder thing. Here's
Vaden Todd Lewis.
Vaden Todd.
Vaden Todd Lewis.
Vaden.
Lead vocals.
We can all sleep at night now, guys. We got the name.
of the Toadies.
Yeah, that's what it says.
I come from the water.
Oh my God.
That's cool. All right.
Nope.
I like that he loves the Toadies, but he can only sing their only hit song that ever was played on the radio.
Who is his audience? Who does he think he's talking to for real?
Vegas does this a lot. They'll put a show in a casino in a glass booth, and you're just walking around, and you're like, who are they? And they're looking at you like, who are you? And that's it. That's the whole interaction.
His audience is in his head because this is all just about performing that I have a life and friends and like I'm having a good time.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
so
you
right.
nailed it.
It really is. Yes, Shane Martin, Opie is his audience because, I was in a jam session with a bunch of younger musicians, way younger, and it was me on drums and a bass player who was even older than I, and we were having trouble finding things to start jamming on because our influences were so different. And the bass player said out loud, "Do you guys know any Pearl Jam?" And the silence. And the way they looked at him like he was asking about a preserve or a marmalade. They were like, what is he? You could hear the click of the sticks and like nothing happening. His audience is Pearl Jam fans that like being called chubby chicks.
Yeah.
And that like macho roar in their face and loud like it's at least Howard knows that his audience is now soccer moms, so he plays to that, gives them a little thrill, gives them what they want. This guy, I don't know what he's doing. And to further your point, Ava, this was mentioned on WATP the other day. Karl is talking about how Opie only goes to museums and like playgrounds and parks. But his family probably isn't there. So that means the single bachelor with his family gone is still just going to the same places he used to take his kids without them. He doesn't know anywhere else in New York City.
We dissect like other like deeper dimensions of him, but I never can get past just him screaming, I'm in a downward spiral by just this behavior and his yelling and his childlike mannerisms and all that. Like, it is rapidly spiraling out of control in a way that's just so off-putting that you cannot imagine what's going on in his house. But yeah, I mean, he is a guy in a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
his
it's hard to
body
imagine that.
body's flailing within it. You know what I mean?
And if anybody lived near that, they would know to either get away or get this person help.
Right.
Or you could fly over there to watch it, like I want to do.
That's
Gephardt. Yeah.
Stand outside the window of Gephardt's and
That's
watch
what I
the
want to
action.
do. I want to do that. I just want to walk by and
Just tap the glass every now and then when he's talking.
Yeah, I'm here.
Cock.
What I want to say about Eddie Vedder and other rock stars that babble. I get annoyed. I get annoyed if the babble's more than 3 minutes because then I'm like, oh, that's a song.
I could have peed. I could have peed and
Not
got a
even
beer.
a pee. It's a song. I'm like, fuck. So now they're not going to play Elder
Well,
Well,
okay,
behind the counter in a
sure.
small town.
So,
They're an arena band. Like, they probably have this like coordinated. Like, if he's gonna talk, or I don't think that they're cutting out like huge singles. Like, if they're
Well, what does
They
Opie do when he's at a
set
show?
list.
Yeah. Like, what does Opie do when he's at a show? The guy's like, I want to talk about the Middle East. And he pulls out a stopwatch and just goes, all right, better be under 3 minutes, fucker. Radio edit, too. This ain't no extended fucking song. No B-side.
the song he wanted, I think, is from the album that came out in 1993. Like, that's where his brain is.
Oh, he goes way back with the Toadies and remembers they had a fat chick in the band. That's how way back he goes.
So
with it.
bad.
He
Yeah.
knows the important facts.
That's what made them stand out to me. Not the songs. The fat girl in the band.
These things make you wonder if the credit we always give him, and you're always gracious about, Shuli, about this guy was part of a team that kept this show moving, and what they made was special with Opie. But like, when you watch this, it's just like, was he? Or was it just like the interns?
I speak from hosting, right? Hosting is not easy to do. You're a traffic cop. You're you know, it's a busy intersection, and you got to fucking pay attention and let this one go. Know when to move on to this, when to that. It's a lot of moving parts. I compliment him on it because he was good at it. He was very good at it, and it was an essential part of the success of that show. Yes, the comics all hanging, Anthony with the voices, Norton with his honesty and hilarity. Like, all those things aligned perfectly, and I don't know that it would have so perfectly if Opie wasn't there to traffic cop the whole thing.
And I think I do give him that at the end of the day, but this behavior makes me speculate that there was something on the screen that somebody typed to like move on from this Opie, and that he wasn't even the one doing it. Because otherwise, this is quite a plummet.
I think what you're feeling is he has a quantifiable talent that is very necessary for great comedy and great radio. What he doesn't have is awareness of what that talent is. He, and this is what is crazy, truly believes his talent was and is being funny. Yeah.
Well, I think the game changed on him too, right? Like, when he got into radio was just, it was the easiest gig in the world. There was no honesty with the audience. There was none of that. Your job was there to play the songs they want to hear. It was very simple. Then this thing called honesty came out, right? Where people are opening up and sharing their lives and talking and playing less and putting themselves out there. That is a scary thing to do. I was a fan of Howard for many years before I ever worked there, and there is a huge difference between listening and being there. Because once you're there, you are now fair game to everything that you watched from the bleachers before. And that's a bit of a mind fuck. So it makes you hesitant to open up. I always said, being honest on the air is it's one of the most amazing things that Howard did for so many
Absolutely.
years because it was so hard to do. It put everybody in that spotlight. It created Dabbleverse type fans that were only wanted to know about his personal life, right? And so to open yourself up like that is scary, and it's and not everybody can do it. And I think the game changed on him, particularly with their show that was so open and honest, and everybody airing their shit out right to each other's face. I think he couldn't do that, and the game had changed. We don't need a radio guy. We need somebody to open up like the rest of us.
He's always like stunted in something. And yeah, like that fight he had with Jim when it was just them doing the show. And Jim's like, I put myself out here like every day and I'm honest about all these things. And Opie just has this moment where he's like, oh, no, it's kind of your thing. Like, it's just him kind of like reflecting that he really never did what you just described. And that's.
I remember Norton doing Miserable Men at Sirius with us. It was the first time I ever got to like sit down and talk with him, and he was a guest on our show, and he did like an hour and something with us, and he walked out, and I just remember my head was spinning because I was like, I've never interviewed anybody that was so honest about everything. There was never, I'm not going to talk about that. He fucking answered anything and everything. And
I love him.
It was impressive. It's impressive. It's not easy to do.
That clip of Norton and Opie having that talk is very, very revealing. And anybody who watches it will kind of know. You don't have to know them at all. You'll get a sense of who is kind of trying and who is shut down. And it's really embarrassing because Opie's like an adult with children.
Exactly.
And really what he's saying to this other adult in this professional corporate setting with people that work under them. He's saying like, but I had a feeling and I didn't like that feeling and it made me feel bad. That's what he's saying to this adult, and I can't get past that. And you'll never understand, Jim. You'll never get it. That when my feelings are hurt, it just feels differently, and that's it.
I feel like he's also kind of saying, you know, now that you're asking me, I don't even know if it's true, so I kind of don't want to say it out loud anyway.
Well, that's what happens is all of these people we've seen, all of these people who have these strong feelings about these other people, as soon as you break it down to what is it, that's what happens.
Yes. Right.
The actual reason, because you don't say hi to me. Here's 40 dates where I said hi to you. It's the next thing. It's whatever it is. I just don't, because you make me feel bad. And they won't admit it. They can't say it out loud because they know what that sounds like. So they'll just argue over the minutia and keep distracting and keep saying you'll never get it. Because you're right, he won't. He'll never understand that you're a child. I didn't know I had to pick up your toy and rub it and hug you and like make everything okay again.
Yeah. Jim was so good at litigating that in that conversation. Like he was.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Opie can't keep up with honest hosts at all. Retardiff is lost. Look for the propeller hat. Thank you.
And I love that it took like 40 minutes for anyone to realize that he was gone.
I didn't realize it.
Because we were flowing. There was a nice flow with that contribution of buffering he gave us.
Adam, Lucy, and especially Ava are great additions to TSN. I'd punch Opie if he yelled at me on the street. He made fun of all those jocks, but one person tells him he stinks and he cries like a bitch.
That's all of them. Man.
Thank you, Edward.
Thank you.
When does Opie drop all the pretense and just start screaming, look at me at random he's already kind of
doing it. That's what he's doing.
Absolutely.
I watched that WATP segment you guys did where he's walking around Harlem being racist, and it was like, holy shit.
Well, and it was like it was at least a year ago, Adam. Maybe you remember this better than I do, but it was at least a year ago that they would have the windows open at Gebhardt's, and he would be like yelling at little old ladies on the street and trying to interact with them. And he thought he was like the funniest guy in the whole world. And I was like, dude, this literally sucks. It sucks.
It's like if you want to yell at people walking down the street, go put on one of those sandwich board signs and make fucking $10 an hour standing on the street. Yell at whoever you want.
You're referencing was this very senior citizen who was like crawling, the definition of like an old woman looking for someone to talk to. And he turns with his microphone and she gets this thrill of like, oh my God, I'm on the radio. And she stops in the window. It took her about 5 seconds to go, okay, and just start walking away like,
And
I'm
then,
not
yes,
that lonely. I hope you
you
find
are-
a friend, sir.
You are exactly correct. And not only that, but she was so old and so decrepit that she couldn't walk away quickly. So you just see this like very slow, and the whole time Opie is still trying to talk to her. And like she clearly is completely done with this conversation. You're 100% right. That is.
And
I'm
that
glad
was a
your memory is
year
better than
ago.
mine.
And so we're talking from that to the window is closed, and now he's just screaming into the window. Like it's as we
And-
predicted.
And
Imagine-
I think that was before he had any sort of microphone also. So he's literally just yelling out the window at Gebhardt's. We can hardly hear anything. We're just visually seeing this little old lady trying to escape his grasp. Like,
It was before he got the podcast deal and the microphones.
yeah.
Can Kaylee moan like Opie? Love your popsicle shows. On her Patreon, she moans all the time.
Yeah, I can also turn my lips purple like him.
Guy on the left, living regret emoji. Yeah, I feel like these people are like, as soon as the show starts, like that old lady, they're like, how do I get out of here without making it obvious? Rain Man is actually smart, though. Opie is a lump.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He
Gary?
would know a couple things about Andy Kaufman if Andy Kaufman was his favorite comedian. I bet Rain Man would know who Tony Clifton was.
2 years. I must be a bit deranged. What happened to the potato? Loving the show. I guess he's gone. Mike G, thank you for the 2 years, pal. Opie's dark secret is the shadows on his brain scan. Gosh, I hope not. I want to die. Opie probably. Rob Johnson with a super sticker. Thank you. Bubble Popper gifted a membership. Thank
I
you,
never
Beaky.
had a desire to go into the middle.
Opie could favor us with a number by Space Hog or Sophie B. Hawkins. Maybe some Candlebox. Sophie
Wow.
B. getting a pull.
Remember that one?
Oh, my God. Damn. Was that her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that one. As I weigh me down to sweep.
Yeah.
You will hold me, dear. I'll fall away. Yeah.
Never heard of Adam before the Dabbleverse. Never watched Buffy. That said, I'm a huge fan now and respect the hell out of your takes. Love Ava too. FKB, FKT. Thank you. How long before someone punches Opie thinking he's a homeless crazy nutter getting too close to their personal space?
It's coming.
Well, that's why he goes after like older people, and he's not going up to anybody that'll actually punch him in the face with a prank.
The
The
black guy
only
with that. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
He was asking like a black man about like a watermelon at a stand. Like that guy could have punched him. Like,
Yeah,
he's right on the edge of it.
No, Opie is actively looking for people of color. He's looking for ethnicity. That's what he thinks the comedy is. He thinks he's being edgy and unleashed by looking for and subtly getting secret digs he thinks they don't notice on them. Like, oh, I can't wear those colors. Those are too bright for me. Meanwhile, he's like looking at tan.
And I think the point that gets lost, like when we discuss like when Opie behaves like that in a racist way, it's not to just say, oh, look at how racist Opie it is. It's that his whole argument against Anthony is that Anthony is racist.
Right, exactly.
And so that takes like the only thing he's clinging on to when he behaves that way.
I thought somebody hacked my phone. Anthony sent me the link to the WATP episode. He goes, "This is not right." It says Opie's racist. I go, "Is this Anthony Cumia sending me this?" My cat jumped into the ceiling fan hearing Opie sing. Well,
Also, ironically, making fun of the way Eddie Vedder sings, even that is hacked. That was like 12 years ago when people were doing
true.
that.
Yep.
Very true. Retardif is nothing but right. Thank you. Always. Chris from Columbus. Thank you, buddy. I love how Ava and Adam confront and dissect people. Lucy lights up the place. Shuli brings the funny, while Retardif brings the brains. Great panel. Thank you, Nick.
OG Mumbling Nick has been doing some really great work out there.
I love Nick.
On the front
Nick is
lines.
great. Nick
All
is great.
over. A proof that you could just have your own opinions and like whatever you like and don't give a shit what other people think in this Dabbleverse.
Yeah.
He's a very dynamic. Like he's so smart and like he's smart about politics, but he also knows every little detail about the Dabbleverse, and he's funny. Yeah, I like that guy a lot.
And another guy that SJ and his army thought they could scare off by doxing personal and private information.
He's still a little bit like shaken up from that. I think
You
the
should
mask
be.
that
It's
he wears.
fucked up.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. Vince the Lawyer is the piss boy, as if this was History of the Dabbleverse Part 1. Yes, Nysaw. Good to see. Happy Memorial Day, Nysaw. That's a Navy man right there. Give some love to all our vets in the chat. We got lots here. Give him a thank you. Imagining John sitting at the bar watching this show on his phone and slamming it down once you stop talking about him. That upsets him more than anything we say about him, my lost interest. You are so right. Opie has mastered the improv. No, but 3 minutes. I could have peed. No, it's another song. You're right. The guy goes, I could have peed. No, it's a song. That's what the angle. Was Adam the Cybermon character from Buffy?
Cyber Demon.
Oh, Cyber Demon. From Buffy. What was his name? Joshua? Did Adam Bush play Joshua from Buffy?
I feel like that's not your real picture, Shane. I just have a feeling that's not really you. I don't know what the Cyber Demon is. I don't know. I didn't play Joshua from Buffy.
This picture looks like a guy who had a tree on his house.
Yeah, but way to bring the show to a grinding halt.
Listen.
You scared Av away.
Yeah, $5. You ruined everything. Hope it's worth it, Shane.
Do you know about the Cyber Demon, Kaylee? I don't know anything about it.
No, I have no. I've never watched Buffy.
I think he might have made it up.
Yeah, it's possible.
And now they just call it
In
small
general,
town, right?
Small town, yeah, or elderly.
On the set list in small town, yes.
But
No, the real
But
song,
they-
the real title's
still-
elderly woman behind the
Yeah, but
counter.
even
in a
if
small
he's going to
town.
ramble for 3 or 5 minutes, right? They're still going to play 35 songs over 3.5 hours.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
that's how.
Fair enough. And he's still going to drink what? 3 bottles of wine. But I'm curious.
I eat cock.
Like you. Oh my God, you are cousins.
God, it runs in.
All right, we got a guest here. Let's go.
Who's this?
I don't know, but I hope
everything about her.
I hope for Opie's sake he doesn't try the bits he was doing in Harlem with her.
So by the way, he was a very famous.
Did he also
photographer.
blame somebody
This
else?
is the guy who was on the set of SNL and shot Chris Farley.
It's as if there isn't a show happening. It's as if the bartender has a GoPro on his head and it's filming live right now.
Here's the problem. It's just like radio. It's just like film. To get one of those shots at the dinner table where everyone's talking over each other and you're moving, but you can actually make out, it looks so easy. It's the hardest thing to do. Any scene with more than 2 people talking at once, even here, is very, very hard, but they make it seem effortless. It looks like they're just talking. He thinks that's what he's doing. Fly on the wall. This is real. That's what I'm offering. Something real, not polished. It's just a bunch of old people talking over each other. We don't know what's happening. We don't care.
This is like his version of 1917 with the one take along the beach with everything happening.
I can't do an Opie impression at all.
Yeah.
But all I can do still is thinking about him singing "I Wanna Die." That's literally, I just keep doing it in his voice in my head right now, and I'm really enjoying that. That's my favorite part of Opie right now. It's a fake thing I invented in my head.
You have to hang on to what you can find.
That's right.
Why?
Chris Farley didn't
Remember, I
actually
told you my cousin was a very famous photographer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shot with the photographer.
Right. Like he shot Chris Farley. Like all his clients were like
barely.
By the way, he said Susan Lucci and Al Roker were fucking nightmares. But he had his bachelor party. At this fucking Billy's Topless, 6th Avenue, between 23rd and
Don't say
24th.
topless.
And there was no cover. Heineken bottles were $5. It wasn't completely nude because you can't have completely nude and serve alcohol. So they kept their panties on.
So there's always that perv dude that explains way too much about strip clubs. And you're just like, this dude's got a problem. This dude's got a serious
That
problem.
guy just run in and interrupt them talking about Pearl Jam to give a breaking Susan Lucci update.
Yeah,
What year do they think this is?
his brother's a famous photographer, so let me ruin his business by talking all this shit about people he's worked with.
And just to anybody who ever donates to Opie's show, I just want you to notice how little he cares about you and your enjoyment. This guy has his back to the camera and is talking directly to Opie, and Opie's like, this is great. we can't see. He's no, Howard would always do that thing where it'd be like, I feel people turning off their radios in the car.
Yes.
I have to end this, even though I'm enjoying it. I got to move on. And this guy doesn't get that feeling when someone has their back to the camera and is blocking it and is talking off the microphone because he's giving Opie attention. And that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, governors in Long Island, they have McGuire, they have the long tables, out to the stage. And occasionally when you're up there, the stage is this way, and you'll see somebody just with their back to you talking to the person. And it happens a lot. And it's not a normal thing. Like, when you're on stage, if I see that, I'm like, everything all right over there? What's going on? Everything good? Point it out so they can join the rest of the world by watching the show you paid to come see. Scalzo, Opie always came off like a shallow frat boy. I never liked when he would trash women he didn't find attractive, while Anthony and Jim were always a lot more clever, using humor instead of being mean. It's a great point.
This is a dumb frat boy.
Call me crazy, but if Opie's just did a fishing podcast with real info about what he's doing, include his buddies who know about fishing, etc., people would watch.
I feel like if he hired a camera person to film him while he's doing what he's already doing, it would be a better podcast too.
I think if he commits to something.
Right. But he's not going to do that.
If he
Which he
picks
can't
a
do.
lane and sticks to it, I think people will watch. Maybe.
I have this theory. You tell me if I'm wrong. But he mentioned it a couple times. It used to come up on the show that Opie's in-laws hated Anthony and that they were very political. They hated the show. They thought it was all like Eric the actor's parents and the Howard Stern show. They were just like, that's a disgusting show for low people. And I think they might, I'm totally guessing, these in-laws are more of a rich, upper crust kind of people that Opie wants to impress. And because his in-laws, and presumably also his wife, never really gave over to like, you're doing something good and huge. They always made him feel a little shitty about it. And big success is hard to process as huge failure. Sometimes people are just in denial about it, or your body doesn't know how to experience it because it's never done it before. So you come up with ways to be like, it's not as good as I thought. I'm not as happy. They don't like it. I'm doing something bad. And I think he really, really fed into that. And by the time all the Obama stuff happened and political lines were drawn, now there was finally a reason to be like, yeah, that guy's bad and I'm on the right side. Okay, then what did you just say, Shuli? Opie needs to make his fucking stand. Take a stand. Be the Democrat guy. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be a story? This guy ends up on Fox News. This guy's on MSNBC. They used to be partners. Let's get him to debate. But no, he can't even make that much of a stand. He can't even be a Democrat or a progressive. He has to play every angle of all things and be nothing to no one.
Yeah.
That would take an ideology also, though.
Yeah.
But he'd rather try shticky and all this schlock shit rather than fucking, all right, so lose half your audience, but at least you fucking plant a flag in the ground. Who gives a shit?
And he's too unaware and has no ideology, like you said, so he doesn't realize that the content he's creating is for slow racist people.
Yeah.
Like, chopsticks in your mouth jokes and think
Right.
cheese is funny. That's your audience. So you broke up with Anthony to make this great political stand so you could finally be free to point out all the most base racist stereotypes that even racists have evolved from and found better reasons to hate than that.
You can, say a lot of things about Anthony that you probably don't like, but guess what? You've known where that motherfucker stood for the last 30 to 40 fucking years since he's been on the radio. There was no phony Anthony phase. This is who this guy's been.
And somehow, Patrice O'Neill found a way to maintain his dignity, respect his point of view, to never compromise, and still work successfully with this person.
That is the example to use. Absolutely.
Listen, it's a lot of racists I know. The one thing they love to do is talk things out, you know, have a discussion. You know, they're very logical people at the end of the day.
Also, it's not that hard if you wanted to stake that out to just be the counter to Anthony, like in a political way. Like he doesn't have to be like a total lib. You could just
Oh my God, you can they could do a remake of Hannity and Combs. These two go the complete opposite way, but fucking do it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a little KB and we'll get us out of here today, folks. All right. What do you say? Thank you, everybody. 1,100 in here. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. Get yourself a membership or turn on accept gifted memberships, and maybe you might get one as a gift. We'll be on tonight at 8 as well. So thank you for joining us. Let's get plugs for everybody. Kaylee, go ahead. What would you like to plug?
Yeah, you can check me out at Once Over with Kaylee, Cayley, on YouTube, on Patreon. Patreon has lots of fun toy reviews as well as popsicle reviews. I got Murder Game Podcast going on, which is a relatively new podcast that I've started where we talk about hypothetical fake crime, which is great. And of course, on Who Are These Podcasts, I'm very excited for Boston coming up June 21st. I think it is sold out at this point, Adam. Perhaps you can confirm that. But if not, WATPlive.com with the biggest problem in the universe, which is going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing.
Adam?
The reason I'm here is because I'm so excited about WATP this Wednesday at 5:30 Eastern. I'm going to be interviewing Tom Myers live on the show.
Whoa. We've had Tom on. He's a good guest.
Upwards in your inflection.
Well, that's where the comedy lies. That's where the joke is at the end. How was it when he was on your show?
He was good, man. Tom's a good egg, man. I like Tom. I think he gets a bad rap. I mean, look, if you strike out every at bat, you're still in the major leagues. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, so what? You haven't hit one over the wall. You will. Like, it's all good. He means well.
Are there any questions you think I should ask in chat too? Let me know if there's anything you think I should ask him. I will.
I would like to know how quickly, how long did it take for him to realize he made a huge mistake by going on Kevin Brennan's show?
Do you think he thinks it's a mistake?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Actually,
what happened on the show that went so wrong?
I think it's the usual Kevin move. He looks at everybody as like, will this make me money?
Yes.
There's no interest in the person or their story. It's just, kind of try to harness whatever's happening in the Dabbleverse and help it make him money. So I just feel like, look, if you're being invited on Kevin's show, you are the piñata. You are the target. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, he's going to make money off of you getting torn apart.
And that is transactional. There is no surprise, so you can kind of count on it, and people like that. I've learned. There's a reason they all speak of him that way. It's because they know what's going to happen, and they like getting paid for it. And as long as that stays true, they'll take it. They know what's going to happen. It's the not getting paid and feeling like you got shit on some show that was lying to you. Then they hate that. And they hate you, and they look at KB like, at least this guy is straight. Just what happens, or it seems to be the patterns, that KB will pay you and then pay you a little less, and because he knows it fucks with your head, and then a little less, and then a little less, and then just see what happens. You know, as long as they get rid of the tape like he does, because he's so embarrassed of his own show, KB. As long as he burns the tape and no one else except KB's audience sees him rip on Tom, I don't think Tom cares. I think he probably is fine with it. It would be going on the other shows and getting shit on that would break his heart.
I don't know if you heard his appearance. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Ava.
I don't know if you heard his appearance on Chapo Trap House. Like, it's a fascinating interview, but they kind of play along with what he does. But a lot of the fans took it as them just, insulting him by just like showing how much of a douche he is. That's how a lot of people heard it to be. And the way he responded to that afterwards was just by being like, fine. And he was happy he went on the show. Like,
interesting.
Yeah, I would listen to that because it's a dimension.
It's called Chapo Chop House?
Chapo Trap House, yes.
Trap, okay.
Like, here's a perfect example, right? Last week or the week before, Tookie and the guys watched the Joey C wedding, right? And They commented on it. It was very funny. They did a great job. And people were sharing it and talking about it and were excited about it. And so immediately Kevin goes into, how can I make money off of this? So what does he do? He offers Joey C's sister money to come on the show, which is fine if you are up to date with everything that's going on in this saga. If you watch the video, if you have your own questions, he has none of that. He wants to bring her on because he knows people are going to rip this woman apart and I'm going to make money. So and we'll go into this tonight, but I have a breakdown of the offer that he made her, if you'd like to hear.
Yes.
So, hold on. Okay. $300 to come on the show. After 1 hour, another $200. And if he hits $1,200 goal, another $200.
That's
So she was on for an extra hour. So that's $500 that he paid her to come on the show. And his total for that show was $480 that he made. So that show ended up costing him money because, again, he's looking at it as a cash grab. He's looking at, how do I get these stupid fucking people to give me more money? Oh, I'll bring on a woman that I know nothing about to be a fucking punching bag for 2 hours, and that'll work.
I just learned that appearance that Jake Hudson made, which is how I discovered him a few weeks ago. Jake paid him $12 to do that. So he charged Jake $12.
Yeah, it's insane. And Jake DM'd me. He wants me to come on. I said, first I thought he confused me with Adam, but I told him I would do it. I'd come on his show. Did you do Rob's show last night, Adam?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I saw
He
Rob
announced-
put up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I found out that he.
Wait, so he plugged you were going to be on the show and you weren't on the show?
I didn't even know about it.
What a psycho.
Yeah, he was. I mean, then he talked about me the entire time.
And
then Pat Dixon he had on, and Pat was amazing.
Yeah,
Pat was incredible. I was so surprised at how just level-headed and real. And there's this unbelievable moment. I'll try and play it on Wednesday if I can get it, where he starts. Pat says something about watching the clip that I did when I interviewed Rob, and Rob just launches in like a mental patient to mom wife, and shouting all of these Karl's wife things. And Pat goes, Rob, come on, man. You're better than that. And Rob looks him right in the eye and he says, nope, not really.
Yeah, at least say what you will about Rob. At least he knows where he stands. At least he knows what he's bringing to the table.
And he has no idea that was the funniest part of the show. He thinks the funny part was when he was doing the pizza roll.
All right, let's get to some KB. We'll get out of here, folks. Come on.
Daddy do. Is that what Gino says? Daddy do.
Oh my God.
Daddy do.
Haven't paused anything.
Following orders, Tio Hank. Tell Ray DeVito I sent the link as per Mr. Ray B. Ray.
What?
There's a whole, I mean, it's wild. Like, the start of this show is literally just falls off the edge of a cliff every fucking episode. It starts like either with him. Thank God he wasn't eating or sucking on something.
No, he was. He was drinking a cup of coffee like he was dehydrated.
Might be wine, too. He likes to put wine in
yeah.
his coffee cup, too.
And
I don't know.
Here's the little slurps. You know, Shuli, I recently was telling Karl that one of my favorite things ever is listening to you and Karl debating Opie or KB. Like, and then I watch clips like this, and I'm like, what the heck? Like,
it's brutal. It's brutal. As far as like
and
who's
it's every
worse
single
at
time
this.
you guys do anti-Karen. Like, this is just all that he does. It's just him sitting in front of a camera going.
I think it's great.
Yeah, and then he screams, "I'm number one."
Then he just talks about other shows and
number one. The guy won't come on unless somebody else is live. Like he won't start his show until somebody else is doing something.
And he based his entire thing around he's not a clip show. He's a personality.
Clips are gay. Clips are gay.
The reason I get angry when I watch this is because with other people it's a little different, but he knows this is crap.
Correct.
Know he hates these people so much. He is pretending this is the bit, which is no different than John Melendez pretending the bit is I sleep and you give me money, right? The joke's on us, huh? No, Kevin, this is your life. Like, we actually see you doing something you hate for people you despise that is not working. And your muscle of a comedian has atrophied to the point of it's gone.
Right.
You don't know what a joke is anymore. You used to be a comedian.
That's what I was trying to say. Like last week, like I feel like this is like passive aggressive. Like I'm gonna make you miserable too. Like because I'm just miserable. And I'm just gonna sit here and just not put effort. I feel like
it's just mailing it in. He just knows he can mail it in every day, and he'll make X amount of dollars. So it's like, why get better at your job when you can just make what you're making being okay at your job or shitty at your job?
For some reason, the past few weeks, like these first minutes make me laugh so much. So like I'm in that phase right now. It's, every second is so.
There was a while when I would only post the first minute of John's show to Reddit like every day. Because that's all you needed to post. It was just this work of art every time that this man pressed record intentionally, and then this is what you get, and this is the same thing.
He's got
with the headset silhouette.
The hair's matted to his face. His snot, the drool, and he opens the show every day and say, "Yeah, baby." It's like, "Yeah, baby. Look at you."
People say in acting sometimes that it's like the hardest thing you can do is just be yourself on camera. Yeah, and that's the thing that people see, and they're like, "Oh, it's easy. You're just being yourself." And you're like, you try being yourself when there is a camera and a crew and people and like lines and you have to deliver and marks you have to hit. It comes from either like intense practice work in training or absolute delusion. This guy is so delusional or so depressed, he just doesn't even care that they're there. This isn't work. This is like, I can't even muster enough energy to put my headphones on.
Correct. But you hit it on the head. It's really such an insult to the audience.
He's insult. Yeah.
Like, at least John knows that we all know he's not sleeping. Kevin is duping this audience. He's tricking them into thinking that this is something you should pay for.
It's amazing.
Crazy.
I told someone some story about the time I tested for Kevin's pilot at HBO. And we all went into HBO together and we did the round of reads and auditions. And then we rode on the elevator. We signed the contract. Then they didn't make the pilot. I told this very long, involved story that Kevin watched on his show in silence about the time we had spent together.
And it's his show.
It's his show. He watched it in silence. At the end has the thing that Kevin said to me that I remembered. And then when we parted ways, and he's watching this whole thing, and it ends, and he turns it off, and he looks to his audience, and he says, "You know that clown? He's a real clown."
He's been
That's what he said.
A comeback.
Yep. And his audience and him were like, "Well, he got him. Got him good. Roasted."
He was seething. And then you'd already pressed play. No sound.
He's covering trials. He doesn't even like, again, I sent him $1,000 super tip the other day, and he doesn't even like interrupt the trial to put the $1,000 super tip up, to my anger.
Now you watch the boomer.
Yeah, of course there's a minute.
You watch the boomer mouse cursor. He keeps fiddling around with the voice. He's trying to rewind. He can't rewind it.
mutually beneficial relationship.
First of all, this guy's really fucked up. He's really. I was watching the beginning. He said it's nobody's fault but mine, like the the Led Zeppelin song.
So then, what are you,
from
KB? What are
Present.
you? You're slurring. You're mumbling. You're making no sense. What the fuck is this then? You're
Like,
just like that naturally.
Set it up at least. Explain who, to quote Vince McMahon, pronouns, pal, pronouns. I mean, come on.
Look
Tell
at
a
the
story.
Or explain, like, look at the difference in his face on those 2 frames. He's
Yeah.
like, why are you so red on the? Sorry.
He's saying nobody won. He had nothing to do with it. Of course, he never has anything to do with it. He's always innocent. He's the most ugliest, fattest, and most innocent guy that anyone's ever met.
Polycule kicked off before Aaron started getting in his feelings and getting jealous and sending passive aggressive messages. to this
Right,
group.
but Melton knows everything. Melton knows everything. It's amazing. How does such a fucking fat fuck with these welts on his face, he knows everything except how to take care of himself.
I eat cock.
That angle is ridiculous.
This is a
It's amazing.
bloated, pink, drunk white guy with only his head in the frame railing at this slightly younger, drunk white guy with the color. Like, what is he? He really sees that and is like, I'm so much better than that.
And then
the audience sees something different in those two people?
Right. And I like that he sets up these videos, he hits play, and within 30 seconds or 3 minutes, he goes, I can't anymore. I can't. What? Come up with something funny? Yeah, we know. Shut it off. Move on.
He'd rather pay that woman $500 than actually have to write a bit or a joke or come up with something.
Something.
When he was watching us last week when I was on DabblePoint, and it was the first time I've watched him react to my existence. And so, like, it's like you guys talking, and he kind of wants to do the Shuli thing, and then you introduce me, and he just goes, "Oh, come on."
I didn't order that.
I love that clip.
I want Dave Sayre to come on to give a play-by-play of Gino Bisconti's week. Gino's not a fan. He's now a fan of my show.
Yeah, this is my favorite thing of the MLC, carousel is the loyalties that these people have are non-existent. He's running Keanu's Venmo scroll on the bottom of the show here.
I wonder if Karl
Okay.
reached out to everybody.
So he's not the woman that he took her OnlyFans pictures and tweeted out. The man who paid for Pat Dixon's defense against Gino, and now Gino and Keanu are best friends with Kevin. So what is it? $50 a show buys the loyalty. $100? What's the going rate?
It's $100.
Unbelievable! I bet you can get them for $50.
You probably could.
I'm sure he did. He's like, guys, you got it all wrong. Guys, you got it all wrong. Hey, that's not what happens, hey? I mean, Melton's already doing it. Melton's already doing the I wasn't really involved. Movie wasn't involved. It was a tie, and a tie goes to the runner. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, these guys it's never their fault. They always win or tie.
He's so caught up on winning. Like this winning thing. He's been screaming about it for years. Oh, he thinks he's winning. Oh, they think they're winning. Everything's winning, which just tells you the guy hasn't won in forever and wants to win so badly and can't.
That's what's happening right now, and it's why
Yep.
this show is, in its way, riveting.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's a
so
great show.
obsessed with winning, he doesn't realize that he lost a long time ago. Like, you've completely given up on even the possibility of a new fan.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if I told someone, check out this show, and they did? He opened with 30 seconds of sipping coffee and then said the word rape 3 times for some reason. And then just went right into this. Was there an impression in there? Did he think he was doing like a quick impression? Like, he's just mumbling and slurring and getting more discolored. It's
not trying. And then next week he's gonna pull up the stats for this video of him not doing anything and compared to other people as if like he delivered some kind of performance or something.
And only the specific stats that make it look like he's winning. Only the specific numbering on that one website that makes it look like he did something.
That juxtaposition is amazing. I think maybe this is the greatest show ever.
They always win or tie.
I renounce myself from even being in the competition. Big L's over here for Melton.
Listen.
Because I pay her. Melton, you pay her yesterday, Hunchy? I have a hunch you didn't.
Of course not.
Did you pay Kiki for yesterday, Melton?
No, I didn't pay Moody or Karl or anybody.
Did you? People are like, Melton made a lot of money yesterday. Does he still have those welts on his face and that hump on his back?
The welts
Did they make enough money?
The welts have actually cleared up. But, I don't really focus on that kind of stuff.
You don't?
The hunch is still there. But my belt sander's out of.
Well, I would say revenge porn is when you're angry with somebody and posting nudes of them. I'd call it revenge porn. However, listen, I know Kevin is
look at him go to the weed.
We made up.
Kevin Brennan's a horrible person, Ken.
Okay, look at this clown. He's sitting with a guy who does coke with his kids.
I eat cock.
I mean, it's a loose interpretation of it, I guess, but I'm not a judge.
Can I address Jeff Mouse here? Jeff Mouse? Something I'm not understanding about Kevin's audience. Are they there just to watch him scream at some point? I can't figure out why anyone would sit through MLC otherwise. Here's my guess. I think Kevin used to be a really, really talented comic. Like, there's just no denying his talent. Very, very, very good. Won endless awards, won comedy shows. There's a reason he had deals. People believed in him. That has been gone for a long, long time. A long time. Even so far that the memory of it, you don't even see. Like, he doesn't even, it's not like Ray Charles at the end where you get those flashes of greatness. There's nothing. You won't even know what it is that he used to do. But what he does have now is
amazing.
It's amazing. And it's warfare. It's warfare. And we all know that and we all feel it. It's the art of war. Someone gave him some book like Crowds and Power that showed him that the greatest way to get a group together is not by providing them with anything. It's just the exclusion of other people. He provides people with a place to be like, it is okay to blindly hate these people. I will be there with you. And they're so blinded by that rage that they don't even realize or care when the target shifts and just moves on to the next person and they're forgiven and they move on. They just want to hate. And he's consistent with that. And people who want to go, I don't like them. I don't like this. Where do I belong? He goes, here, pay me. There's a door charge and you can come in here.
Yeah, there's that element of like he's a crazy homeless guy on the street yelling at a bus stop. And some people will stop and watch what the homeless guy is yelling about. Some people will move on and go, I don't want any part of that. And some people might even go, this guy's on to something,
Yeah. Well, it's like if you listen long enough to the homeless person ramble, every couple minutes you will get something brilliant. But we all know if you give them money, this won't end well.
Right.
So you can watch from afar, but don't give them any money because it's not going to end well. You're not helping. You're not helping the situation the way you think you are.
No, you're not. Observe and report.
These are just...
Facts. These are just facts. These are facts.
Did test positive for cocaine.
Right. He's also some kind of doctor that he knows about testing positive for cocaine in your kids. Again, an expert. He knows about coke and kids, but he doesn't know about the old welts on his face.
Maybe he is a cocaine doctor. You don't know that.
That people who are feeling and want to be right say.
Oh, like Daddy Melty?
For a fact, Aaron ain't come. I've actually said yesterday on this little piggy, there is a world where Nick has fabricated all this evidence, and it's hilarious because Aaron can't shut the fuck up about it. Let's, for a minute, give Aaron the benefit of the doubt. He didn't eat cum. Okay.
But you have a hunchback. We know that. I mean,
Boom.
Nick Ricotta does coke with his kids.
I watched this guy destroy in Connecticut. We did a show together in Connecticut. It was at a movie theater. And I go up, then he goes up to close the show. Destroyed. destroyed.
Kevin?
And then you're watching him with these comebacks now, and you're a hunchback. You're like, well, where did that guy go?
Yeah, I didn't know if he was talking about KB either. It sounded so unbelievable. We were like, who are you talking about?
I've got a million questions about that, but I'll save it for
No,
another
he
time.
had it. It's just so weird. It's gone.
Yeah.
There's no evidence that Nick sat
ricotta.
with his children and did cocaine.
But they tested positive. Is there evidence of that? I shan't there is. I shan't concur that there is.
Make up something. They have to. It has to be true, or else you don't know what we're screaming about.
No, it's true. It's true. It's in court documents. It's official records in the state of Minnesota. I don't know what county this is. Another shit Indian reservation county.
I don't know. Do I know that he didn't? I don't.
Oh God, we're gonna play that.
What? Now he's leaning into his argument, and he's going, I don't know that for a fact. He goes, oh, now he's doing this. Now he's agreeing with me. We're going to play this game.
Yeah, everything this guy does.
But he still has a hunchback.
And welts.
You get him on welts and hunchback and the weight. Yeah.
That hunchback's got a hunchback.
Oh God, do I know that he didn't? Oh God, these clowns. They like to go in circles, circling round and round, circle round and round.
We're the ones going in circles.
Mm-hmm.
One super tip so far? Shame on you. Shame on you. You want me to end this early? Is that what you want? I'll do it. Dare me.
I'll turn this podcast around and go right back home.
I eat cock.
Let's look at nice podcast, stupid. I mean, because people are always like, you can't be serious.
So this is his new thing now. So a couple weeks back, we did a thing where we showed his total for one of his shitty shows on Playboard. That lit him up. That upset him so much that he went after producer Joe's wife with MS, Jenna, and put up her picture and was just being a real scumbag. Typical KB type behavior. But since then, was so fascinated with Playboard. And I told them this when we watched the episode where he goes, I can't look at everybody's stats because I'm not a member. I said, he's going to pay. If he hasn't paid already, he's going to pay for a membership. And every show from now on will have a Playboard segment dedicated to it, a la Lenny Bruce and his court transcripts. It's just a fucking guy that used to be great screaming about shit nobody fucking cares about.
What is Playboard specifically? What does it track? It tracks...
So it tracks super chats.
Just the super chats?
Just the super chats.
Which is only one form of income for a podcast like that, correct? Or is that it?
No, you have memberships. You have gifted memberships. That is a whole nother revenue stream. So it doesn't factor that in, but it does tell you accurately what a show has made the day of. It will show in super chats. It will break it down for you.
Memberships,
not the other stuff.
Not the other stuff. Just super
advertise
chat.
or anything like that, or
no, ad rev, none of that stuff is.
Would you say, as someone who's in the know, that what is reflected in Playboard is accurate?
For the super chats, absolutely. Yeah. And for him, it's extremely accurate because he doesn't do memberships. So, actually, he does do memberships. That's the only way people can live chat on his show when he blocks the non-members.
But it's a decision to look at those because his other monetization things wouldn't compete with people. I was curious about that too. Like, why is he only want to talk about the super chats? Is he
because he's obsessed with it. It's all he's the only one talking about it because other people are kind of trying to do a show.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think he thinks that it's the one way that he can get something over on everybody.
So that's why he's choosing that.
Yeah, he's trying. It's not succeeding. I'm just saying. I think that's what he thinks is happening here.
We talked about, John, any victory is him running around with his arms up. Kevin's in that same boat as well,
But victory over, he still can't go to his brother and say, look what I did, Neil. Victory over who? And for what? Over Stuttering John?
Listen,
over who?
at our best month ever, best payday ever, we are not a speck on the fucking map of YouTube creators who make money. It's we're not even in the fucking solar system. You understand? These people, forget it. They're making literally hundreds and thousands of dollars every time they go live.
I want somebody like that's a guest on the show when he does that to ask him if he's proud of his performance on his last episode. Just have him assess his performance. Are you proud of what you did last week?
Yeah.
Was that a good show?
It's like the last few years at the Stern Show, we would do our own self-reviews at the end of the year or whatever, you know? And I was always like, guess who kicked ass this year again? This guy.
Yep.
On WATP, we'll make fun of popular podcasts, ones people have never heard of, but this moment happens almost every episode where we're making fun of some very small podcast. And at the end we go, how many subscribers they have? And then they tell us and our hearts just drop. And it's just silent. We're like, wow, that's a lot of followers.
We ain't got shit.
The whole Dabbleverse is nothing. Being the Duke of the Dabbleverse, that's your reward, KB. You can have it if that's what you want.
That's like king of the cul-de-sac, you know, when you were, you know what I mean? Okay, great. You run this cul-de-sac. Got it.
Surely you can't be serious. Stop calling me Shirley. Remember that, Ray?
He's back. He's back.
Still got it.
That boy's back.
Oh, yeah, a little whistle. Who doesn't love a good whistle segment in a podcast, huh, guys? Can we hear Wind of Change by the Scorpions? Thank you.
Can we the end of The Stranger, please?
I've always said whistling is such a selfish act.
I gotta see it so you guys can see it.
It's right up there.
Engineers love when you whistle into the mic. That's the thing. First thing, whistle into it. We love that.
Yeah. I'll play the fucking song if I want to hear it. Don't volunteer your whistling bullshit.
I love how he has to recover from that joke. It needs some silence and some... Okay, got to turn it off now. I can't just ride like this all night.
He's in decompression mode right now.
Wait for the applause to die down.
Sit down. I got a lot more stuff, guys.
This really is like a digital version of like Grandpa in a rocking chair just going through the newspaper talking to like his golden retriever. Just be like, these fucking assholes.
Can I tell you the only difference between him doing his show and me FaceTiming my dad is that you can't see just the side of his head and his ear, you know, as my dad's holding the phone up to his ear. That's the only difference.
It really is exactly the same.
Yeah, the only difference is that person you mentioned of is a dog owner, so they have something going for them, and they're actually helping somebody else, like the golden retriever. This guy is just ruining everybody's life. And what you just described is the exact feeling I felt when you turned it on. And you were looking at him. I was like, Dad, I gotta go.
I gotta go.
It's been great, but okay. You know how to turn it off? Well, let me walk you through it. We'll start that now so I can get out of here in a couple minutes.
And after the grandson leaves, he's still gonna say the exact same things he would have said if he was sitting there, like just to the silent.
I had to tell my dad to stop emailing me because he, for some reason, refused to use the space bar. So it was just the email was one giant word, you know. And I'm like, after the fourth one, I'm like, listen, we got to work something out here.
You got to get Siri to read that to you.
What's more, between him and a Tan Mom text, I don't understand anything that's going on here.
Does Kevin email? Like, have you ever received an email from him? Like,
no, I received a text from him on October 7th laughing about what was happening in Israel. But
what?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You don't know that was him.
Then he showed me how much my show made the night before, so it was him. So here's Playboard. So he's looking at Nice Podcast Stupid.
Can you see that? Sorry, dude, I gotta take you down. Can you see that? It says Nice Podcast Stupid on the top. So you can all see that, right? Today revenue, 0. Yesterday revenue, last 7 days revenue, total revenue, 738. That's the lifetime.
He's glancing over the fact that his views are going up. If you look at this chart here, his views are doing better.
Yeah, ignore that.
Sorry. Pat Dixon.
Mm-hmm. Does Mike win out?
Is he waiting for Pat to respond?
Pat Dixon joins Nice Podcast Stupid. Banned from YouTube. 548 people watch. 44 thumbs up and 17 comments, but no money. Not $1. You can't even find dollars. Earl Skakel joins Nice Podcast Stupid again.
But so now he's going after shows that are very new, that don't have an audience buildup. They don't have a super chat revenue like he does. And that's who he's going to go after now.
Yeah, you got to take down the little guy when you have a really small penis. That's like literally the end of the story. It's so frustrating to me. People don't realize how much we put into these shows and how long it takes to build up. And yes, every so often somebody does a really wonderful job and it takes off right away. But there are so many amazing, amazing, amazing creators out there. And so to say this person isn't making any money and therefore they suck is just the wrong logic all the time. You don't start doing this stuff because you want to make money, and you don't judge somebody based off of how much money they make. Like that's just the dumbest. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That's such a more articulate way to say what I was trying to say when I was like talking about if somebody would ask him if he was proud of the show he put on last week. Where it's like he's comparing to his show to like shows that like teams or people like working hard to do a show or just trying to do a show.
Ava, I think you're exactly right that is the interesting question to ask a person. So like if you own a comedy club and you have a comic who does, a set one night and then a set another night, the question that you should ask them is which one of those sets do you think went better? Because it's really interesting to see if people understand what is succeeding and what is not succeeding. And so that is the right question to ask to somebody. I don't know.
I still don't feel confident in doing my own show, and then I want because like I would want it to be like definitely not like this, and then you watch him and it's like I don't know, but yeah, it's passive aggressive. He's just trying to make everyone miserable too.
My favorite review of a movie is, if I've told you this, you can shut me up. The review the New York Times did on Good Luck Chuck, which was a Dane Cook comedy. I used to carry it around in my wallet. It was so good.
I love that.
I just had a picture of Dane Cook, and it was like, the first sentence was, "What is comedy?" And they spend a couple paragraphs just getting us all to agree on what we define comedy as.
Because this ain't it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the last. And then they go, so now that we all agree that this is comedy, this movie is not a comedy. And that's it. They don't mention anything else about it. What you're describing, both of you guys, is that Kevin is not a comedian. If you put him in a room with the people we're talking about that we respect, like a Patrice or a Sam Morril or like any of these great minds, Tim Robinson, get them all in a room and they're talking about who's funnier, and Kevin's going to come in and say, yeah, but I made more money than you last year. They're going to look at him like, so then get out of the room.
Right,
like,
who let this fucking asshole in here? Exactly.
Well, they wouldn't care. It was about being funny. So holding on to this pathetic old man dangling a cup for change victory is like so embarrassing. Yeah. Even Neil can't even bother to laugh at you because it feels like you're picking on the dim old man who doesn't get the joke. You're not a comedian. You don't get to call yourself one, and you don't get to compare your show to anyone else's because Jake Hudson's show is so much more entertaining than yours.
100%. 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, that must be a weird area for his brother. But
for him to be calling him up on a Sunday afternoon to say, look how I did better than Jake Hudson, bro, while he's yelling at this clips he's showing, or of him yelling at other people going, I bet your dad doesn't love you. You think Neil doesn't see what's happening? Stupid.
Do you think those victories he's performing on his show, do you think when his show's over, that's what he feels? Like he's like, I got that. I got more super chats. Or do you think he's just...
I'll tell you why I know that. Because if he felt that way off the air, he wouldn't need to take pictures of super chats on the air. He wouldn't need to take notes on what people are making. Look, he does this rap either on Ray, Nice Podcast Stupid, on us. He goes to Playboard. He does this rap, and Tiger Lily hit it right on the head. Again, Kevin, where is the funny? How do you have this information and not make something funny out of it? If you know it's going to be a part of your show, if you know you're going to do a daily segment about what people are making, make it funny. Make it worth watching.
The funny was the monologue. That those first 5 minutes of silence. That was great.
Yeah, the idea of the fanfare and
Yeah.
the music and the intro, and then him just like unaware.
Yeah,
That was fun. That was funny.
watching John type with one finger is funny. Adding piano solos to him typing with one finger is making something funny. It's making something out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he's like a hipster, and effort is not cool.
Yeah.
Because he's trying. We'll never catch you trying, Kevin. We never will.
Also, the first broadcast I've ever seen of him where it does seem like he has these lesions of weird Freddy Krueger-y like welts was like last week. And he's talking about someone else's.
Yep. The only comeback he could come up with was clown and fat fuck. And we all know he didn't write fat fuck.
No, he did not. Speaking of Clay Dabbler, 19-month membership. TSN would always focus on John's money. Hypocrisy police. And John never talked about our money being fake, our memberships being fake, our views being fake. He didn't do that for years on end, did he, Clay?
But what is Clay saying? He's saying TSN never counted how much John was making, or never.
He's saying they did.
Well, John would brag about it.
Of
And it
course.
sounded
They're
highly
responding.
unbelievable.
They're
He'd be like, I made
responding to John.
100,000. What's
Yeah.
that?
I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, he would lie about it. I have nothing against fact checking anything. I don't remember a lot of bragging about who. No one's gonna brag about who's doing better in the day.
But here's the bottom line in all of this, Clay, is we extend an invitation to you to come on and say these things to our face, to stick up for your friend, for John, right? And yet you know that your friend couldn't even handle you coming on here to defend him and would end this relationship, and you're still fighting to hold on to this friendship that only you give a shit about. I hate to break it to you.
Is he being serious? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say that's actually the way that you just said that actually kind of makes it sound admirable. If he's holding on to a friendship that the only thing that he cares about is that friendship, then that is an admirable thing. I actually cannot criticize that.
It's what he's doing.
However, I don't think that you said it perfectly. I think that you were on to something in the beginning there, and then it diverted a little bit. I think that the bigger point at this point is if all he wants to do is save the friendship with John because he cares about the relationship, that's great. Go for it, dude. I don't think that that's what it is at any point in time. And I would love to see Clay come and do that. I think that would be really, really interesting. And I think it's a shame that we don't get that. And Shuli, you said it perfectly earlier. You said it's interesting for us all to have these debates. It's interesting for us to hear the counterpoint, the dabble point of these discussions. A lot of the time we all agree. I don't want everybody to agree all the time.
Neither.
I want to argue about it. So get on here, Clay. Accept Shuli's offer.
Yeah.
Well, it says something that the people who won't come on are the same people who accuse DabblePoint of only having one opinion. And they say you won't let anyone come on who will criticize or defend John. No one will come on. Clay, Rob Saul, Quad, come on. You won't do it. Does that sink into you that you're holding on to a belief that you yourself will not publicly defend? Does that matter to you at all? Do you think that's maybe why there's people here that won't defend him? Because it crumbles.
Don't be Opie refusing to go on Anthony's show.
If it's something you believe in and it's something you stand for, then again, plant your fucking flag in the ground and stand for it. I'll respect you 1,000,000 times more by coming in here and going, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Let me tell you this. Let me give you an example of that. No one has yet to step up and say, you're wrong, you're out of line. Let me tell you the John I know. Nobody.
And this isn't an echo chamber because I'm challenging all these people and saying Kevin's show is amazing that we're watching. But second, that point you made is like unfair. Do you really think that that's the same as us talking about Kevin just sitting there like just a lamp, like just like pulling up stats or whatever, like to TSN responding to John talking about those things all the time. That's just not even a good point.
Well, it wasn't a segment of the show. It wasn't like we're getting ready to the part where we pull up and
or the whole
that.
show. Yeah.
If John mentioned or was bragging about how much he made, you talk about it. And when people accuse people of faking views or faking numbers, you talk about it. You bring on the opposing views. I think these people realize, like any kind of abusive relationship, that their arguments will not stand. They will crumble under any kind of follow-ups, any kind of pushback. And they know that, and they love him, and they don't care. And I can believe that, Clay, if you can believe that it's tough to watch him beat the shit out of you and try and make you feel bad and humiliate you in person as you continue to be nice to him. It's frustrating for the viewer, you know?
And any friend of John, Dirty Deeds, Vegas Beer Can Jerry, Clay, any of them are welcome to come on here and you know, be pro John. That's fine. But the reality of it is they all know that no matter how much they stick up for John, the minute they accept this link, they've turned on him.
They've turned. Yeah.
And so you're going to tell me that that's what you're fighting for? That's the stability that you're going to go to bat for? That the guy that you're fighting with strangers you've never met online for years, wearing a shirt with my dead mother's name on it, right? And now you're going to tell me I'm out of line for talking about his money? Like, what are we talking about here? This has been a back and forth for years between his show and our show. That's how it works. He made money from doing it. We made money from doing it.
He wore a shirt with your dead mother's name on it.
Yeah. He had a Noga shirt on an episode, and he's apologized for it, and it's all good. I don't, you know, I know he's caught up in being an SJ Army member, but like, you know,
okay.
It's listen. What am I going to do? You know, it is what it is.
It's just
But you know, at least John would never extend an invite to anybody to speak on my behalf or anyone that he's beefing with that week. He doesn't want to hear it. It's not allowed. Members only chat, subscribers only chat, anything to avoid the issue. I'm telling you guys just the opposite. Come on in. It'll just be me and you. Whatever you want it to be.
Shuli won't even be there. Whatever you want.
I won't even be here.
We'll make it happen.
Well, the puppet, we'll get Clearwater, whatever. But, you know, do it. Otherwise, stop talking shit.
So if they send you the link right now, Clay, will you come on right now?
No, he won't. I know he won't.
He thinks it's an intervention. He thinks he's going to have to defend an addiction that he can't and will be forced to end this relationship.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to change my mind.
I understand the concept of being afraid to get ambushed, right? Adam, I think that you're experiencing that a little bit right now. A lot of people wanted to have you on the show, and now that maybe feels a little bit scarier because you're doing a lot of wonderful dissection of those shows, of their shows. But I think that people often get, you know, we saw this just the other day with Keanu and, you know, Nick Rekieta. It's scary to get ambushed. It is scary, and it is scary to have to hold your own. And so I understand the idea of not wanting to get ambushed. But you can also set the boundaries of what makes you feel comfortable in order to be able to stand your ground and speak what your piece is. And there is a good reason to speak your piece. That is one of the most beautiful things that we have in our life. It matters so much more than how much money we're making. So why would we not do it? Why?
Yeah, this is what you're sticking up for, Clay. Hold on, where'd it go? I have this.
Do you really think like Adam and Lucy and Shuli wouldn't be fair if he came on? Like,
again, I'm not asking you to change my mind about John. All I'm saying is tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I've gone wrong with John. Maybe there's something I'm not right about. Maybe there's something that just isn't true that you know for a fact. John won't come on and debate. I tried to go on numerous times and talk with John. It's not possible. He just yells and screams and throws you off. So, but you're fighting for a guy who talks to you like this.
I don't like bullies, which means I don't like you. You shut up.
I don't like bullies. Shut up, Clay. Shut up. Yeah, I just think it's odd.
I'll never forget it. It was like a horror movie, and somebody needs to steal this. for a script when he held him hostage,
Yeah.
holding his phone up, looking for something Clay had texted him that was embarrassing.
That was
DMs. He was
insane.
going through the
Yeah.
DMs.
Stay there. Look at me while I do this. And then he would find moments of Clay being like a deeply good friend.
Yeah, there he had nothing.
He did exactly. He proved exactly the opposite of what he was trying to prove.
And Clay was like, "What's embarrassing about that?" And John said, "You know, you were worried about me."
You called to say goodnight. That's gay.
Like, and then kept searching to try and dox or just reveal that. And it was the whole like, watch me while I do this. And
that's
laugh.
right.
I need you there so I can personally humiliate you because it makes me feel good. That was one of the most horrific displays I'd ever seen online. And if, Clay's argument is in his mind, it doesn't hurt me as much as you all think it does. Sure, but it hurts us.
It's got to affect you. It's got to
somewhere,
affect you.
even if you don't know it. We all deserve better.
You could say whatever you want about us. I would never in a million years bring you on here and try and dox you and then tell you can't leave the show until I've properly doxed you. That was the other thing. I'm getting info. People are sending me emails. Sit tight, Clay.
I would love to talk with Clay. I think he's extremely interesting, and I think he could shed a lot of light on stuff that we all have questions about, and I think it would be great.
Hey, Clay, why don't you go on this Birds show, huh?
Yeah.
Come on, pal.
What's
close that
Over with
deal.
Kaylee's a great place for you. That is a great, welcoming place for you.
Yes.
There you go. Ava's available as well.
That's
and Jake Hudson is accepting guests as well.
KB.
And KB, if you want to sit there quietly with KB for the first 45 seconds of his show, you're welcome. But we have come to the end of our show. Thank you to the 1,100 plus in here closing out with us. Hit like on your way out. Subscribe. Let me get to some of these chats. Ron the waiter has to go. He is not funny. Was that the guy with the hat talking about the photographer? That's Ron the waiter?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we watched his stand-up recently.
Stand-up?
It is... I mean, he's hitting so hard, and it's silence.
Oh,
and you
I
get
might
to
have
hear
to
the in
see
between,
that.
like the, and then back to the high energy. It is rough.
My favorite lines ever from the day the laughter died. Dice has been bombing for 45 minutes, and it's just quiet. He just goes, "Great, you could hear the air conditioner. Yeah. This whole album's ruined."
Mm-hmm. It's the greatest record ever.
I got gifted a membership yesterday. I don't know by who, but thanks, brother. You're welcome, Bacon and Eggs. Thank you, chat. Shuli, you canceled the show because of a storm the other day. I guess I can't depend on you. Also, Opie won't try out of fear of failure. I get it. The fear of failure is a very real thing, but that fear... That fear is also, it can't be duplicated. And it could also push you to shit that you make it work because this is your only shot.
You also, I think, Opie's so afraid of being publicly trolled or publicly not being in on the joke. And I think he's rightly so insecure about knowing what the joke is and can't always tell. That's what I saw on display when you almost had him on your show.
Yeah.
It was just, he needed just one more hand holding. He needed reassurance or he wouldn't do it. And it's like when you have a really bad audition and you're embarrassed and you're like, I can never have that happen again. So you go out on auditions and you make sure that doesn't happen again so you feel good. But you're like, I'm also not booking any jobs. So I'm preventing this tragedy, but I'm not moving forward and succeeding. So Opie has developed his world where he's completely isolated and no one can ever troll him, but he also will have no career, no friends, no family, no life.
Correct.
And he also just screaming while he's doing it to drown out that inner fear and dialogue.
Do you want to die?
No, I can't stop. It's going to be in my head all night. No, I hate it.
Potato butt hurt, chopsticks in your mouth crowd is steel toe too. Yeah.
There's a place for everyone.
Wait, the Tom Myers of the Lemon fame?
Mr. Bong Hit Transplant. Mr. Bong Hit Transplant is going to be there.
What a bit. Roy Ray McGuire, just dropping in to say hi. Been busy with work, but I miss everyone. We miss you too, pal. Nice espresso martini in that shot, brother. Mason in Portland, it says a lot about Joey that he'd offer up his sister to be on MLC. Just saying.
Mason Portland.
I mean, I don't know that he offered her up, but I mean, look, she's a grown woman. She's a married woman, and she wants to go on a show. I'm sure he told her ahead of time, but money talks. What are you going to do?
Speaking of, I'll be sitting down with Joey C on June 12th on his show.
He is. Can I just run something by you? He's planning to do this. He wants to do this whole interview like about your career and your life and who. I know. I want to tell Adam interview you.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to go well if he does that.
I know. I got it. I'm on it.
Thank you.
I'm on it. In a whisper, you know the voice, Shuli. Shuli, are you going to sleep with Sal? Can I sleep with Sal? Thank you. It's a whispering, high-pitch Eric. Atlantic City, callback. Does anyone else think bald spots on KB's head is his lobotomy scar? Either that, I've said, it looks like he got burnt in a Pepsi commercial years ago. Him and Michael had that thing up here. I don't know what it is. Jad Allen, the professor, dropping a dime. Come on.
I'll suck your dick.
Oh, hey, beautiful man, meat.
I only do Brennan. Brennan's my daddy.
Ava losing her mind the second KB's face shows up. She's a fan. She loves KB.
I was crying.
Senor Nasuno, thank you very much for the gifted membership.
Love me some Kate Meany.
KB can get Gino and Kiki for $10. Show me the numbers. All these people are at the bottom of the barrel, low life. Yeah, don't forget, for the past 4 years, that's all this guy has been screaming. He wanted Bob. He wanted anyone to show him what we're making over here. And the minute somebody shows what he's making, he goes after their wife.
One of the things I've learned from doing all these podcasts is, much like a lot of things in life, I'm going to tell you from experience, everyone's suspicions as to who's really cheap in the Dabbleverse, you're incorrect. And who you think is overpaying people and using money to control people, they're really not paying very much at all. It's not exactly what you think of it is. The one thing is for certain, none of it matters. None of it is actual money in any regard. It is all like sharing a hat after a set on the promenade, or at the coffee shop or after church. That's all it is. But the people who claim to be very generous or talk about being very generous on air, they're not. And most of the people that are accused of not paying actually are very generous. It's the people, they'll just send you stuff afterwards. They don't even talk about it. They'll just make sure you feel like you're a part of whatever's happening. And fucking Chad Zumach is one of those people. Can you believe that? Chad Zumach.
I do.
Like, I'm going to give you money because I want to.
I do.
And they don't have to. I gave it to somebody else. That's how it works.
Who are the people that disappointed you, and how much did they pay you?
Jake Hudson... Jake Hudson got me.
End of sentence.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He and by the way, I do his show again. He's a great guy. I love what he's doing. I can't say he's better or worse than anybody else, but you asked, and he went out of his way, like, to, no matter how many times I told him, please don't pay me, please just keep it. He needed my Venmo, he needed my stuff. He kept track of whatever it was. I think it was $12, and then he never sent it. But I don't really care about that. Maybe he just forgot. The only reason was because I went on a show. He dragged out of me to say something bad about KB under the disguise of a game. And I mean, really, the only thing he said, I'm going to name people. You say if they're professional or unprofessional. He said KB. I said unprofessional. You know what he did? He shut down our stream. He went on to KB. He said, send me the link. He went on to KB's show and he said, K, do you know Adam Bush? He just told me you're unprofessional.
He's a legend.
That's actually genius.
Yeah.
It is. But if it was Chad that did it, we'd be like, that fucking kiss-ass piece of shit needs his, like, we would call it out. But for some reason, he gets to do that. And everywhere, you're like, who are the nice dabblers? And they go, well, Jake Hudson, of course. It's Jake. Michael Ray Bauer's on Nice Podcast Stupid. He goes, who's nice in the Dabbleverse? I said, you got to go with Jake. Jake's the best. You should definitely do Jake's show. So Jake can then get him to say something bad about Shuli and then come on here and then tell Shuli and not pay him. And then we can talk about what a great guy he is. He's a great guy.
I discovered Jake on their show, and I was all excited and everyone else was burnt out on him. Everything people told me was like, don't get involved with that guy. That guy's going to stab you in the back.
He's harmless.
But he's
they don't
You know
understand.
how many times he's said "fuck you, Shuli," and then a day or two later, I get a DM. He's like, "Sorry, I was having a rough day," and I'm like, "It's all good, dude. Don't worry about it." I hate you.
I'm one of his biggest fans.
She was one of the only people who understood, and I saw it. That was John couldn't. That was like, he's gonna have episodes.
Yeah.
It's like you let him tire himself out. Let him work through it. You don't have to react to every single thing he says. Just let him go through it. It's fine.
Another pro John guy I would love. Bo, why don't you come on this show sometime? You've been in John's corner for years now. You seem like we've had conversations. You seem like a guy that's willing to talk about things. Would love to have you on. Any pro John supporters out there? The Uncle Rico Show pod at gmail.com. That's it. Done. Stand up for your man.
And if you can pick and choose who you want to be there. So when your reason for not doing it is because I can't be in the same room with this person, you don't have to be. Just make your argument.
Exactly.
If you're weak and soft and you can't be in the same screen as somebody else, let us know. We'll baby you. Keanu is stupid. I hesitate to call a woman stupid, but she has heard the definition of revenge porn multiple times, and she still refuses to admit what Aaron did is revenge porn because, quote, he wasn't angry.
Is it controversial to defend her? Because I discovered her when y'all played this clip of her and her boyfriend, Gino, yelling at each other, and I was like, oh, this show seems interesting. And then I saw that, and I feel like she destroyed that guy as far as just looking at an argument. Like, I don't know that much more beyond it, but she kind of emasculated that guy. Am I wrong on this?
I
That's
think
a lot of thoughts.
I think the only winners.
We should discuss it.
Well, I think the only winners in that whole saga are April and Kayla, because they're the only two that nobody fucking hears about anymore or from. They're not doing a show. They're not trying to get clicks or super chats. They're trying to fix their lives. They're trying to fucking change. Or at least that's the perception, because I don't see him on fucking YouTube every week, you know? So, like, I think everybody else involved is like, it's shit. Like, what do you want me to tell you? It's shit.
Can I ask you to zoom out on it as just, I feel like you're a connoisseur of just people yelling at each other in a video, like, which is to me just like Howard, it's like candy. Just like, I didn't know shit about a lot of that context. Just watching people yell at each other in that video, to me, it feels like she destroyed him in terms of like insulting him in these particular moments, and just him like making the counter argument against himself by behaving that way, because he was trying to imply that he wasn't like psychotically abusive, but like he was just, I don't know. Am I wrong on this?
I think I can see why you would see it that way if you don't understand a lot of the context, because a lot of his insults back to her were the low-hanging fruit that we were talking about, the calling somebody a hunchback, the calling, and it has long been my opinion that Aaron and Nick very much deserve each other. I would say at this point, I think Keanu probably deserves them as well. I think it's really interesting. That has been. I was actually away. I took a vacation this past weekend, and I was away. And I know, it was amazing. It was amazing. I was at a concert. I started getting messages, turn on this little piggy right now, and I stopped everything that I was doing to watch it. And it was the most enchanting, interesting thing that I've ever seen. But, oh my God, there is so much to dive into. I think Keanu is definitely not getting a lot of credit right now. And I will also give her some credit, not necessarily relating to the Nick argument, but I recently was on Simpcast with her, and she actually had some really interesting and not at all vapid points relating to the First Amendment. And I thought that was very surprising. I expected her to not contribute
what was
much
her
to that
perspective?
conversation.
She thought...
She understood. I kept kind of leaning into the question of when you're talking. I think that the interesting question to ask about the First Amendment is, does the First Amendment apply to anybody who is on U.S. soil, or does it apply only to U.S. citizens? And I think that there is a definitive answer to that question.
Yes.
However, I also believe that it's an interesting discussion to be had.
Yes.
And she leaned into that discussion, and she had some interesting points. I was quite impressed with her. I don't know that I was as impressed with her arguments against Nick, but
you were impressed with her in a good way about the free speech.
Yes, I thought that she had great insight, and I thought that regardless of if I agreed with her or not, and regardless of anybody else agreed with her or not, it was interesting to hear what her perspective was.
I
The
just
chat
think
totally disagreed with me. Everybody in the chat thought that she was an idiot, but I thought it was
everyone's so mad at her. Yeah, that was what the guy.
But I think it takes two to tango here, right? Had she come on this show and said, "Okay, guys, let's talk about this," right? But instead, when she came on the show, right away she was like, "Did you get permission? Did you get permit?" And she comes in combative and argumentative, and it's like, okay, so now you're gonna get the same energy you give out. Like it doesn't. It's like we just talked about with the John people. Come on the show. Nobody's going to jump down your throat the second you come on here. But you can't come on here and call everybody a cunt and then expect us to be like, okay, fair point. Let's discuss topic number 2. But
she didn't do that. I feel like she just was like, all right, well, I'm going to make fun of like how long you last in bed. Like she just got into the dirt with
That's
him.
fine. And that's fine. And I think Nick came off poorly. Like, I think he looked like a fucking raging maniac as well. But she wasn't just strolling with a picnic basket in her hand, acting like all innocent. Like she came in there to talk shit, and it was 5 people that don't agree with her, or 4 people. So what do you think's going to happen? It wasn't an ambush.
I think
she was in the chat for a while, commenting on things to the point where they're like, "Do you want a link? I'll send you a link."
Well, unlike Dabbler, she took the link and went in there and started yelling too.
Great point, Ava.
But I don't know the backstory. I was just like objectively just watching like a reality show of just people that, like you said, deserve each other, just shouting. And I was like,
Ava, there's something to be said about your first point about coming in green. We do. When we come in with knowledge of this kind of entertainment, when we come in green, you do see things other people don't see. And often it's correct. I remember I know less about the peripheral steel toe stuff than I do about other things in this world. So when I was at Hackamania, my takeaway was I was the only one who was like, I don't know if Nick's okay. Like him being here, like all of that, my first instinct was the opposite of everyone else's, was like, this doesn't make me feel right. I've watched some of that 6 hours and been like, it seems like she's winning. It feels to me like she's winning. Like the only argument of her having the schoolmarm voice is like, okay, fine. Now can we talk about what she's saying? But when I do a little bit of research and the more I dig and I find out what she is actually saying she's not guilty of, but other people are, when you find out, it does feel and look different. There is more to uncover. And I'm guessing the truth is somewhere between what people think and your initial reaction. Because I'm telling you, there are people when they watch KB that are like, did you see the King of Hate just like tear down that stupid guy from the pilot? Did you see him demolish him? Like the funniest guy in town, he's doing it. And we come in and we're like, has the show started? There's nothing happening. We see that. They don't. They're holding on to something that's not there. There's something there. Keanu didn't need. There was a while when she started crying because I was like, this has been like 3 hours straight of just bashing this person over and over again. Like the argument has been won or lost 6 hours ago. I don't know why we're still physically exhausting this thing out.
And then goes live on her own channel a couple hours later to recap it all, which kind of throws out the whole victim I was attacked argument right out the goddamn window.
Adderall is a hell of a drug and it needs to be done in moderation.
I saw that she did that, and I made a decision to not watch anything she did after that. But you were talking about somebody named Ray or Roy, and somebody was like, I thought you were better than this. And he was like, I'm not. Earlier, I forgot what the point you all are making was. But like, there's a point where I was able to ascertain that she like was being hypocritical about doxing or something like that. And she just did this thing where she just, because the whole thing seemed low rent, was just like, fine, I did dox him because whatever. And then just stuck with her point, even though like she might have, but then she just like was yelling. It was fun to watch her.
But she did that a few times, which I think was frustrating people, which was she would make a statement, and then when people were asking her follow-up questions about that statement, she would flip and it would change to what those people were saying.
Oh my God.
When
Patrick put up when Patrick put up when she was talking about getting his NLO Twitter handle taken
Well,
down.
she denied it. She denied it.
Yeah, and then he put up the narcissist prayer, and it was literally beat for beat every single word that she had said. It was.
She was, and I'm not denying it.
Good
I'm just
God.
saying there's part of like an argument like that, you know, and what moral universe are we really subscribing to with the group of people in that? Karl's great. I'm not speaking about him, but
he's all right.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
You say
open
whatever you want about Karl, but like
Yeah.
I'm not like I don't get the sense that any of those people are like real ethical, like, you know, leaders. So,
Everybody's damaged goods here. Everybody's
so
damaged
formatively,
goods.
she's just like getting called out, but she's just not she's just doubling down, and it makes for a good argument.
Think about it like this. I came in seeing that Michael Ray Bauer. I didn't know much about him or that he was in this Dabbleverse, and I was like, oh, we have a similar background, like very sympathetic. And everyone was like, be careful. I'm like, don't tell me to be careful about Jake and Michael. I know what I'm doing.
You were giving him time, yes.
They have health problems. You know, you see it. After a little while, like the tears, maybe they strike you when it's the 8th time you've seen it and you don't agree, you get over it. You know, when it's the 9th, 12th, 15th time I've heard Michael talk about his health problems and make it clear he ain't doing anything about it. Like it's up to us if he's going to make it or not. It's up to our donations. You start to see it. You're like, oh, we can help this guy. And the people that have been there long enough know there is no helping this guy.
If you don't think Adam's damaged, he just proudly bragged he'll be on Joey C's show soon. So there you go.
Are you putting her
like
Keanu in the
that.
same? Are you grouping Keanu in the same moral landscape as Donkey Lips in that too?
I'm putting all of us in the same moral
Thanks. There you
Yeah.
go.
It's a big basket. We're all in. Jamie, thank you very much for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Tier 2, get out of here. In honor of Ava, I have transitioned. Great show. Thank you.
Good luck with
Thank
that.
you. Beef curtains. Rammstein Engel is a great whistling song.
I just saw them on their first American tour in a long time.
What about what do you know about
You saw Rammstein?
I saw Rammstein. It's unbelievable. Till Lindemann, he's awesome.
what do you know about Slaughter to Prevail? You know that band?
I don't.
I do.
Yeah, I knew you would.
Also, Shuli, the vacation that I just did was at Maryland Death Fest, and I saw probably about 15 Amon Amarth shirts, and every single time I saw one, I was going to take a picture and send it to you, and then I got
Love my
lazy.
boys.
So, sorry.
Skol!
I'm jealous that you got to go to that.
All are welcome, Clay Dabbler. Yes, I tell him all the time. Shuli didn't bring Stuttering John in the Dabbleverse. Stuttering John eventually dragged him in. Stuttering John thought he could do and say anything about Shuli. Now Stuttering John fucked around, found out, and he's humiliated.
And it bothers him very much.
Stuttering John's plan is working. This show is failing. Hi, Lucy.
Hello.
Thoughts on the Catalano wedding?
I have one thought. I thought it was really great when Joey revealed that he, did that whole service and then didn't go to the reception. Skipped it.
He's the best, man.
I love it.
KB, a freak that cuts his hair with a belt sander. Mr. Blue Sky, can I come on the show and shit on Crumb Bum? I mean, when we get to that point in the show, sure. Thank you for the 26 months, Mr. Blue Sky. Lucy, that top about to make me bust. Oh, hey, Adam.
Hey, BC.
Oh, hey, Beef Curtains. Keanu made no sense. She would move the goalpost whenever she was confronted.
Yeah.
Then she pulled the abused woman trope.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah, that's that was my thing. Was like her taking, getting up on the soapbox and talking about what a scumbag Aaron is and how he abused April, according to April's words, not hers. And then all of a sudden she was like, she misspoke.
But when somebody in an argument is willing to just do that and just own it and then just keep going, there's something to that where it's like, I'm just gonna do that and then stick in there and just yell. I don't know.
And I'm not saying people wouldn't lie about something like that. It's fucked up, but people would do it and do it all the time. But if they did lie to you about it, it would be more of like, oh, well, she took it back. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys aren't friends anymore, so feel free to be like, this fucking person told me, blah, 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 and here I am believing it, and now I look like a fucking idiot.
I have a feeling that all those people will be in a hotel room together in like 3 months, like doing cocaine.
I don't doubt it.
At Chilicon 2, coming to Nassau County.
The Constitution doesn't differentiate between residents, citizens, or anyone else. Free speech, protection against illegal searches, and due process are guaranteed to all.
That is the correct answer, but it's still an interesting conversation to be had. And again, Keanu did good.
John Edward Melendez will show you all. The Stiff Minister Army will show your. Thank you. I think that's John.
Yeah, I guess, Alv, if your point was that Keanu stayed in a place that John for 6 hours, that John would have left, within the first 30 seconds.
Kept yelling,
and more of a man than him. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
No one's denying that. Keanu has taken every position whenever it's convenient for her to her. Aaron used her, then Aaron is the best guy. Aaron made Nick come out the hero.
It's really hard for me to not make a bigger analogy about our politics right now, but I feel like a lot of people think that it's okay to do that now. It doesn't matter if I took that position yesterday. Just go with it and power through it. And within that, if you're going against 4 people and you're just willing to just be that crazy,
but at least in politics, you're getting millions of dollars for it. Here,
well,
you're
she's
getting
working on it. She did the
here,
follow-up interview, and then she went on KB after.
Yeah, here you're getting $100 lobbyist to send you on KB's show. That's what you're getting.
We're in a microcosm.
I'd go see a band called Ava and the Jews.
I would love that.
Yeah, I'll join. Lucy, when is the big date with Lenny?
That's a great question, Big Daddy Dodo. I feel like we were supposed to be going to, what's that place? Medieval Times?
Medieval Times, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? You can tell Lenny that I'm a little bit salty still because he chose the convenience of Kate over choosing me. So he's going to have to make it up to me before we head over to Medieval Times. That's all I got to say about that.
I'm on it. Allow me to DabblePoint, if you will. I'd say Melton is pretty fair and ethical guy in that group. He seems to give people a fair shake. Who knows, Colin? Who knows?
Exactly.
He was the big winner in that debate. I mean, he was the winner of all of it.
Of course.
Absolutely won.
Out of curiosity and for posterity, Adam, what email did Shuli send the link from? Looking out for you, Shuli.
I will look right now. And what will it prove? Either way, when I tell you the email, what will happen then?
Well, I guess there was a claim that we still use that email, which we don't. We just, unfortunately, because the channel was made with that email, we can't get rid of it. But we don't.
Asking that, and I've never...
Yeah.
I grilled Jake Hudson about this for like 20 minutes last week. Like,
How'd that go?
Why would you do? Like, what is the point of that? Like, you're like, what? And also, they send me a link every time I come on this show, and it's not the email everyone's talking about. It's a different email. So now what?
Well, you're special. We don't want to upset you.
It's from the Uncle Rico Show pod, and then there's another one of Shuli's emails, and that's it. I'm not saying I haven't gotten one from the past. I didn't do the search. I'm looking right here at the last one. That's what it says. If you want, I can do the full search and let you know if it ever happened in the past, and then what? Where will we be?
Yeah.
And why would he do that? Like, why would he just keep using that email and email guests with that link?
Believe me.
What point is he making with that?
Believe me, there's no part of me that wants to continue using that email.
You might as well.
They were mad at Kiki because she could not grasp that everything she dislikes about Nick, she is okay with Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron was accused of hurting April verbally and physically. Aaron brought her to Nick and to that life.
And that's the experience I had when I got to Hackamania. I was like, I've been hearing for so long that guy's crazy and this guy's a hero. And I was like, this all seems pretty fair to me. But I will say one thing. I know how Aaron deals with being disparaged or bad remarks. The only person I think I've ever actually trashed in this Dabbleverse was Nick when we got back from Hackamania. I was exhausted, and I had to do a 9 a.m. with Husey after my flight back, and I said a lot of shit that I really didn't, stuff I felt and believed, but wished I hadn't said it out loud, and I still wished I hadn't said it the way I did. It was very inartful. It was very one-sided. It was very brash. And he wrote me a letter saying...
He wrote you a letter?
Yeah. He was like, hey, man, enjoy this about you. I like this. You say a lot of intelligent things. I think you're wrong about a lot of your feelings about me, and I would love to talk about it one day. And then, like, a bunch of other shit. like a friendly, nice, normal person.
That's probably
Yeah, but that's how it starts. That's how it starts.
Okay.
Next thing you know, you're doing
You're
blow and penis.
I never learn, do I? Every time I'm like, they're a nice guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I fall for it every goddamn time.
It's also probably because you're not a woman. 'Cause it seems like this is
Not
You're
today.
Right, too. You're right. I'm just so used to blocked, and then as
Blocked, yes.
offensive, racist stuff you can come up with.
No,
for him to just be a normal person about it was like, well, I guess that's why your show has more views than anyone we've talked about today.
And my comment to that chat is, again, I'm providing a perspective of someone that did not know all of that other shit, was just watching everyone yell at each other. And to me, there was no moral.
It really says a lot about it says a lot about the Dabbleverse when Nick Ricotta is the best lawyer in the Dabbleverse.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I dare anyone to watch this little piggy and take a shot every time Kiki says whippets.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Listen, we covered a lot. We went a lot longer than I had planned. Thank you to my guests for hanging out with us today. Ava, plug your website where people can check out your music, please.
avariza.bandcamp.com. And it was an honor to be with all three of you, and it was nice to finally meet you, Lucy.
We love you, Ava. You're welcome here anytime. You know that. And Adam, you can catch him every Wednesday on WATP. And Lucy, go over to her Patreon. Go over Once Over with Kaylee on YouTube. Sign up for her Patreon. Once Over with Kaylee on X. Go sign up. Go support everybody. Have a great Memorial Day. Be safe. And thank you, everybody. And we'll be back on at 8. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Point DabblePoint.